Oh, there we go.
Hello. Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
I was wondering when the microphone wasn't working. It turns out I never unmuted it.
Yeah, we used the manual mute button to double check which microphone it's picking up.
So sorry for waking everybody up like that.
Yeah, sorry for that. I unmuted it without thinking. So sorry about that.
I was like, oh, she was all like, oh yeah, it's on music. Okay, cool. So we can just fix that. Anyway,
really?
I just like press this button. I'm like, no.
That wasn't. I just assumed that you were being efficient.
No.
I'm so sorry at the pop noise. I genuinely.
Well, hello.
Yeah.
Welcome to another Sussy Tuesday.
Sussy tech issues.
Sussy tech issues.
Nothing bad, just funny. Okay, that's alright then. As long as I didn't blow anybody's eardrums out.
No, I always worry. But we're usually so quiet that we're safe, I think.
Speak for yourself. I've never been quiet a minute in my life.
Shut it.
Wow.
Okay. No, I don't shut it. Actually, I don't want to do stream by myself.
No, that's fine. You don't need somebody to do the voices for you.
Sorry that we're started a bit late. Blame the EU.
Let's blame the EU for everything.
I'm only half joking. There are some new legislations that I wasn't aware of.
Yeah.
Because I trusted like platforms like Etsy to let me know, because they normally do with like changes.
But yeah, they do normally kind of let us know. Yeah.
And like somehow
product safety regulations, by the way, in case you were wondering.
And like they're actually ridiculous to the point that we have to stop shipping to the EU. So that was fun. Sorry. Oh, I should have warned about
pouring noises.
Pouring ASMR.
That's a lie. It's not pouring. She's not pouring tea.
Oh my god, can you tone? It's minty.
Well, to be fair, this is a cafe. You would expect tea.
Yeah. So this is the game I want to be playing right now, but this is the game I'm going to be playing.
Wow.
I'm joking.
Wow.
I just have like childhood games, okay?
Oof.
There we go.
Sorry, I'm just gonna.
Are you alright?
Yeah. Like, you know, like last week when I was mowing the lawn and doing some gardening and I cut my palm open on a thorn.
Yes.
Yeah, well, it was healed up real nicely until we started doing the product safety research, and then I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing, and I anxiety picked it open.
Oh my god, I cannot believe it.
And it's like, ow, okay. It's fine, but it's just a little sore, so I'm just gonna put some that cream on it, and maybe it'll fucking go away.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You get to be with French.
Get to be French. This should be fine.
Oui, I thought our bucket.
No, you said earlier on it was mint tea.
I said I'm never sharing anything with you. Cancelled. I do not want to know. And again, how are you doing?
Yeah, hopefully you're doing good. Oh yeah, before we start, I should apologize. I think I'm fighting off a cold. I'm like mostly fine, except I'm a little bit frizzy around the edges. So bear with me in case I cough or sniffle. Cough, etc. I shall do my Bessie. Aren't we ready?
I sure am.
Am you? Socket is sus, yeah. Yeah, she is. Yeah. Me, I'm just private pocket.
Get reading!
The special exhibit in the House of Horrors is based on a rumor that shocked society in London. An impression of the visage was taken directly from the corpse in accordance with Duspel's family principles. Yeah, both of us are sus. Love it. I enlisted the aid of the grave digger and created a mold for the head in the cemetery just before the interment. Interment? I hid myself until he gave me a signal. I was there for a very long time that night. As dawn approached, I was very worried that I would be discovered. Could be discovered. I cannot read.
The grave digger? The man sanctioned this?
Oui. I will do all that is necessary to achieve the true resemblance my family has celebrated for. Alodio. It is good to see you in court today.
Madame Tuspels is doing greetings today.
She's doing greetings today. I'm going to start trying to do the greetings in whoever is currently speaking. I think this should be fine. Nobody else knew. Only the grave digger. What harm did it do, eh?
This is quite whop right in there again.
So you truly saw it? The face of that monster?
This is personal. Physics has
Oh,
personal
right.
game in this.
Naturellement, I was aware at the time that his identity was a secret. But Tuspels would not be Tuspels if we did not insist on absolute fidelity to our sculptures. I don't believe this!
I myself have seen the special exhibit at your museum, madame. A truly blood-curdling scene in which the murderer is emerging from his own grave.
The scene it depicts was the subject of many rumors in London 10 years ago.
Oh, sorry, I was rolling the mug.
I have here a newspaper from the time. Yeah, we have the thing right here in court. We can just take the...
Yeah, it's true!
But I guess, yeah. The special exhibit was based upon the picture in this article.
It's a pretty nice art. What else is on there?
Hey, wait, hang on a splinkin. The artist's signature is on there. Do you see it? Do you see?
Oh!
I know that sign.
That's the man himself!
What?
Indeed.
Coming for that ass. He is, he is.
Anyway. What else do we have?
Something rises
Actually,
from the grave.
hold on,
Executed
hold on.
criminal returns in the dead of night at local cemetery.
Sorry,
Was the Balamusk to blame for the great blaze? I think this is just filler articles, actually. The
hold
splitter
on,
the side.
hold on. I was
Just
gonna
kinda
try and
fun. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna make it big?
yeah.
The fire that engulfed the popular theatre continues to draw attention as reports that Her Majesty Queen Victoria herself visited the Royal Italian Opera to inspect the site and offer words of condolences to the theatre's owner, Mr. Frederick Guy. The theatre had been under lease to famed magician John Henry Anderson, and there is some speculation that the blame for the fire lies squarely with him for his insistence on holding his bal musqué. Musk? I don't know. There. Could his magical tricks have played a trick on him, costing this city a great centre for the arts? I feel like that's not.
Yeah.
Unless this bus is involved, I don't care about no sneaking fires. Executed criminal returns in the dead of night at local cemetery. At Lowgate Cemetery, just behind the prison, on the night of that foul demon's execution, the newly interred professor forced off his grave cover as he clawed free of the earth. The young man who witnessed this scene was on the verge of raising a shriek when, in the next second, a gunshot rang out suddenly from behind. The bullet pierced the...
Deputy,
your possum's nose is in the way.
hold on, I can
Socketwrench.
move. Come on, hold on, I'll move me.
And also, so is her.
Oh, I just moved. That was not me.
Shame on you.
I was gonna sit in the corner here.
No, yes. I can't see the bit behind her nameplate though, which is annoying. But
Yeah.
the young man is really next. So the gunshot ran out suddenly from behind. The bullet pierced the resurrected. I think that says man's chest, whose breath then stilled something. The youth then finally released the scream he had been holding and ran for his life. The university student who experienced this shocking event is
yeah.
Mr. Enoch Drebber, a disciple of science at the University of London, and a resident
Yeah,
resident of its
yeah.
student dorms.
Yeah.
Mad sheep rampage. Unexplained phenomenon in something Oxfordshire region. Most something circumstance in which folded sheep were seized with sudden fright and leapt from field and pens.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's an article about sewers.
Don't forget the Krakatoa.
Something Darwin to receive something the Great Stinked. Yeah, stink. Where's the Krakatoa? Oh, Krakatoa eruption. Yes.
Very important. I like how that's just on the side. This is like, yeah. but
Charles
also
Darwin to receive something medal, I think.
Well. Anyway, I'll just
Anyway, yeah.
take this away so
That's,
we can
you can
enlarge
bring
that again
yourself
should you need it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. We can bring you back. So, we're good.
I'm gonna come back.
Return to me, Pos. My Pos and
We're here.
friend. Whee!
Maybe I'm slightly too
I think
far.
you're a little lower than you were before, but I could be wrong.
Ah, it's fine. I can hang.
We
it.
don't know.
Oh.
You know, I'm actually quite impressed that they didn't do just one article. They actually,
Yeah.
and they can't have pulled them from like contemporary papers because they are way too much modern language. So it's possible they just retyped them.
It's true, but they didn't have to do that.
They
but
didn't
they
have
did.
to do that, and I like that. But I think they might have just like updated them linguistically.
Yeah.
And so Enoch stole the artwork, waxwork, because he saw his face. Enoch knew he was working with Ass Man, so went, haha, wouldn't it be funny, as he tried to draw the scene. Also, I can blackmail the coroner too, because she knew too. You're sticking to your weird, wouldn't this be funny for you drawing my horror? And also to blackmail the woman who supposedly did the autopsy. Yeah, that would be, yeah. Yeah. On the other hand, what if Ass Man was actually the criminal?
I still wonder about that.
But...
It'll be too obvious almost. But, I don't know, I also, part of me just feels like these two have been in cahoots for way longer.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah.
Either way, he drew pretty well.
Yeah,
I gotta give him that.
Yeah, that's a pretty good with the ink drawing, the
etching style.
style,
Yeah. I think it's pretty good art.
I'll admit, though, I know we've said it before, but the incidental artwork they do in this game is better than it had to be.
Yes. Yeah. Like, I don't know what the original looked like, but I think for this remake they really were like,
Yeah,
yeah, we can do that.
I like it.
Oh yeah, sorry, this is the next bit of text. I'm so sorry.
No, sorry, that's cool. I didn't realise. I was like, yes, I read the text that was on the screen. What of it?
It was the most detailed account of what happened, as reported by the eyewitness who saw it.
The 10-year-old article has been entered into the court record. 10-year-old article. A newspaper article recounting the tale of an eyewitness to the alleged resurrection of the professor from his grave on the night of his execution. I almost read excursion. I had to stop myself. This is not an excursion.
Man rises from the grave. It's too absurd for words.
Tried brownie style chocolate milk and it's weird. That's disappointing.
That's really disappointing because it sounds like it should be amazing.
Yeah. Didn't Fridge Milkshakes do a brownie version?
Yeah, that one was great. I loved that
I
fucking thing.
can't remember it.
That was my
I used to be so obsessed with Fridge Milkshakes when I was a kid.
Yeah, like when I moved here as well, I was really into them. Like they were so good, but then they started hurting me.
Yeah, now neither of us can
I can do it, but I will pay the price.
Yeah.
Yeah. The public enjoy absurdity, monsieur.
I feel like they put some caramel aroma in there, but it didn't quite work. Yeah, people these days, I think, are putting caramel aroma in literally everything, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't have to do that, you know? You don't have to do it.
This naturally doesn't have caramel in it. Why is
Yeah.
it here?
I guess because they think that the caramel gives it like that kind of darker tone. That, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that
But hey, at least you don't live in the UK where they started replacing salt with onion powder.
On the plus side, it's great for dieting because so many snacks that I used to love now leave this horrid aftertaste in my mouth because I like onions, but I do not get on with onion powder.
No, it actually makes me physically
Yeah,
sick.
it makes me feel pretty ill. Yeah, and since they've started basically saying that you have to put less salt in products to make them taste the same kind of level of good
Yeah.
to the, dumb baby likes the processed food brains.
Yeah.
By which I mean human brains
Yeah.
or brains of creatures like kobolds also work the same way as humans. So, we're all like, yeah, we like the tasty food. Ooh, it hits the same button. Apparently,
Yeah.
onion and garlic powder. So they reduce the salt content so they can put the little labels saying, there's salt in here, you're good. But they shove onion powder in it instead. And it's like, okay, cool. I see you don't like people who have like IBS, acid reflux, anything like that.
Yeah.
Or people who just get that weird onion taste on the back of their throat for like all night.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night and all you can taste is just onions and it makes you want to die? Metaphorically. Because I have.
Anyway.
So. Sorry. That is why I have reproduced the scene as carefully as possible in my museum. Press the button.
I pressed the button. And it's a waxwork word. Okay, we're gonna try redoing this. Ahem. And it's a waxwork from the exhibit that was stolen some days before the incident at the Great Exhibition, wasn't it? I like how I'm like, who's pressing the button? Oh, it's me.
You. Mm-hmm. The worst part is that at first it tastes... Okay, jump scare, thanks. It tastes like good chocolate milk, and then the aroma kicks in. It reminds you of like those weird shampoo types that taste like they smell. Oh my god, like cocoa butter.
Oh.
Does it taste like the cocoa butter kind of smell? Like, is that the kind of one? Because like, Vaseline does a body lotion that's like chocolatey, and I like it, but the smell starts tasting after a while. And then all I can taste is like weird cocoa butter chocolate stuff, but not in like a fun way. Just like I can suddenly, I'm smelling the, I'm tasting the smell, and it's just a lot. It's just a lot. Anyway, Moida, that is correct. The professor you see before you hear.
Most puzzling. Counsel for the defense, proceed with the cross-examination. This waxwork links Drebber to Dr. Scythe, and there has to be some reason for that, which hasn't yet come to light. But I'll find it. I'll get to the bottom of what really happened. I'll prove that Dr. Scythe and Dr. Drebber were in on this crime together.
Did someone mention last week that Odie Assman was a journalist? Or am I mixing up two comments?
I don't remember.
Because if he was a journalist, then it would make sense, potentially, that he also knew the identity, investigative journalist style,
yes,
of the professor.
True.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm speculating. We'll find out soon, I hope.
Yeah.
The special exhibit in the House of Horrors is based on rumors that shocked society in London.
Yes. Wait, that's the wrong button. God! I know left and right. Hold it.
Oh my god. I've been playing Rune Factory 4 lately, and like the back R button emergency evacuates you and takes you home, and the front R button is how you activate your secondary set of spells. So about 50% of the time when I go to heal, I evacuate the dungeon and go back home, because in a panic when I'm running low on health, I can't tell the difference between front R and back R.
You're just trying to go home, okay? That's fine.
Yeah.
That's normal.
Oh, cool! I'm glad we did this.
And that rumor would be
A 10-year-old tale now, but one that no Londoner would ever forget.
Oh, right. I know just what you're talking about, I think.
Of course, it couldn't be anything else.
yes, that story will never disappear.
The tale of the condemned killer rising from the dead. That is the central attraction of my House of Horrors. The rumor was whispered all over the city, and it was like this. It was in Logate Cemetery, behind the prison, in the dead of night, after the execution of the killer. The interred professor slid back the stone slab, covering his tomb, and emerged from his grave. A young man who witnessed this felt a scream welling up inside him. But an instant later,
They think this is the news article I read. of course, so that was worth it. But now we know twice, so.
An instant later, he heard an ear-splitting gunshot from over his shoulder. The bullet struck the emerging corpse, and he fell motionless once more. The scream finally found its way from the mouth of the young witness, who turned and ran for his life.
The corpse climbed out of his own grave.
And then somebody shot him. Who was it? Nobody knows, even today. But remember, it was just a rumor. Perhaps nothing more than a ghost story. The good people of London, they love stories like this. That is why it was in every newspaper across the capital.
Good size shit. I mean, somebody. So I. There's got to be. I'm feeling this is on the strong heart level of conspiracy, though. Like at that level of.
Yeah.
He's got to be in there somewhere.
But it was just a story. I mean, this is exactly the scene that can be seen today at your museum, isn't it?
Tea. Oui. The special exhibit was modeled on that very illustration. For a while afterwards, the contents of that article were reproduced in every newspaper imaginable. That's plagiarism. Madame, might I say something? Please go ahead, mademoiselle. When something is described as a rumor, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's entirely made up. I believe that often rumors contain elements of the truth. Ah, I see that people from the East can be just as astute as the people of Europe. Can we be sure, for instance, that the professor's execution was successful? It is not possible for the dead to come back to life.
Sorry?
10 years ago, I was there in Lowgate Cemetery. After the criminal known as the professor was killed by hanging, I took a wax impression of his visage from the corpse just before it was interred. So I can assure you, the man was dead.
I see. It would certainly appear that the condemned man suffered the intended fate.
An impression of the visage was taken directly from the corpse in accordance with Tuspel's family principles. I'm chucking words away.
Hold up! I
don't
didn't
think-
mean to.
no,
I wanted to
quite.
press.
Yeah, Van Zeeks is unusually quiet. Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's quite personal, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if your brother got stabbed by this man, and everyone's like, well, maybe he didn't die, maybe he did. Is it true of every waxwork in your museum then?
It is, assuming the subject is dead, of course. Live subjects have to cooperate in a similar way. I have letters from imprisoned criminals all the time, you know.
So hold on, what did his brother see the professor's face?
I assume so, but
Yeah.
probably not in time to text Van Zeeks. Yo, bro! It's fucking strong heart, bro!
What sort of letters?
When my time comes, please make a waxwork of me. Comme ça?
No!
My museum is famous, monsieur. To be made into a waxwork is an honor, and for some criminals, a symbol of status even.
This guy just stabbed me, lol. Bleeding out, bro!
Sorry, because nothing says hardened criminal better than wax.
Bro, my blood's dripping on my drip! Sucks, LOLXD. Wait, he's not a millennial.
And it is thanks to one killer in particular that my museum has gained such popularity in London. I refer to the star of the special exhibit, of course. The professor.
Whose form you claim to have captured by taking an impression from the actual corpse. He's so incensed, he also is choking on his own saliva.
There are no exceptions to the principles of two spells. I enlisted the aid of the gravedigger and created a mold for the head in the cemetery just before the interment.
It's just why don't she just, if it's legal, why anyway.
Mm-hmm. Hold it! He's having 3 heart attacks a second. Yeah, him and me both.
Ah, thank you, Runosuke. Surely that's illegal, isn't it?
It would seem the proprietress of this repository of novelties was blinded by monetary greed.
It had nothing to do with money. The man is part of London's criminal history. That is why I had to sculpt him, to record this history. It is the raison d'etre of the Two Spells Museum.
But if the man was convicted in a closed court and sent for immediate execution, then surely nobody but the members of the judiciary present know the killer's true identity. Sorry, I can do words.
I assure you, behind that mask is hidden the true face of the professor.
I don't understand why we can't
just take off the freaking mask. Do you realize what you're saying? The professor's identity is a national secret.
And why?
Yeah, why exactly?
Who was it? Was it the king?
It's like...
Is it Albert? Is that how he died?
It wasn't... I understand. And now that the truth about the special exhibit has been revealed, it must perhaps close.
Of course it will. As will your entire museum if you don't tread very carefully, madame.
Oh, okay, Van Zixie.
That could be another interesting chapter in the history of my family, I think. Don't you?
Oh, okay, well, positive. So, 10 years ago, on the night of the professor's execution, you took a wax impression of his face from the corpse.
The thing is, a face has to be rather unique or special to immediately know who it is without a name or anything else. Yeah, I'm going to assume that it's like
A
someone who was well known.
Yeah.
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 Oui, exactement.
You do think it's not a strong heart, but it's somehow connected to him inside. Yeah, I reckon.
Yeah.
It's got to be like some in their maybe like their group.
Yeah. And they're just...
There's clearly someone we either know or look similar or something under there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I hid myself until he gave me a signal. I was there for a very long time that night.
Hold it!
You were there longer than you expected to be.
I had some difficulties in capturing the subject's form correctly. As I removed the mask, the mouth of the cadaver fell open, and I had some problems with the chin.
Dare I ask?
The man had been dead for a short while already, you see. His muscles were relaxing, and consequently his chin would not align itself correctly. Oh, dear. What a horrible thought. Under normal circumstances, I would have an assistant with me. However, that night, I was alone. And as a consequence, I missed my preferred window of time.
What do you mean?
When I take the impression of the visage of a cadaver, I always wait until 3 hours after death.
They do tense up and then they relax again.
Yeah.
After a while, there's a process.
And then like a lot of things also just get really hard because of the bloat, don't they?
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where it goes like hard, soft, hard. I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm never 100% sure. But yeah, I think they do that and then they relax again after a period of time. But I will admit I've never actually been around a recently deceased person who hasn't been pre-stuffed.
Pardon?
Well, I mean, you know, the things that funeral directors do.
Oh! Yeah, I wouldn't know.
Recomposed. Yeah, no. Yeah.
I don't know. All my family members were like, in the oven.
Yeah.
Sorry, should have warned.
Yeah. You should. But anyway, I've never killed anyone. So,
No.
I'd like to make that clear. I don't know.
Anyway,
But yeah.
moving on. Why 3 hours? Is that amount of time significant?
She may well just be about to explain exactly what I tried to.
Ah!
It is because of rigor mortis.
Wriggly Mortis.
It's the name given to a phenomenon that occurs in recently deceased bodies.
You should know that. Come on, he's not that
Yes, he's
stupid.
not theoretically, allegedly.
As a rule, 3 hours post-death, the muscles in the body begin to stiffen. By approximately 10 hours post-death, the entire body is completely rigid and inflexible. And then, from that point on, the muscles slowly start to revert to their relaxed state.
Oh, there we go, Susato.
There we go,
With her booklet.
Susato with her book in the library.
Yeah.
The effect is often used to estimate the time of death when a body is discovered.
Well, that was an education. If a slightly scary one.
As the mademoiselle says, rigor mortis commences 3 hours after death, and it starts in the jaw.
Yeah, it feels like it's going to be a key point of the case that she was there after 10 hours, not 3. No, I agree, right? Like she was there way later, potentially, after he'd already been shot, even.
Yeah, something like that.
I see. So that's why you wait.
Before that time, the mouth falls open, and it is very difficult to do my work, or
She was there too soon.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, she thought she'd waited, 3 hours.
Yeah.
Or she thought she'd waited 10 hours, but actually the body hadn't been in the grave until more recently than that. Yeah. So, she was there too soon rather than too late, potentially. I think you're right. I think that's going to be... I think that's going to be a key thing. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I don't know.
It's getting hard for me to do my work with all this talk of corpses. I wonder about that information the court just heard from Madame Tuspels. It's significant? Well, wait and see, right? Because...
Yeah, it is significant, but I don't know how it relates to the case just yet. So... Oops.
I'm just double checking what we currently have in our thing just so I remember.
Because, yeah.
Death
By hanging confirmed at
midnight.
midnight. Okay, wait. Wait a second. She was talking about dawn. Yeah, it was it was getting light.
Yeah.
So it can't have been later than 6.
No.
Even in winter, right? 7-ish?
7-ish, yeah.
6-ish, 7-ish.
But not 10 hours.
When was it?
Surely,
What date was it? Hello?
Sorry, what date?
What date did he die?
Oh, sorry, the 17th of June.
So it was the middle of summer. Yeah, no. Absolutely not.
In which case it's significant.
Yeah, it is significant. Yeah, abso-freaking-lutely. Holy moly, good catch, Beats.
The information about rigor mortis that you just shared with us, would you mind including it in your formal testimony? I believe it would be significant, you see.
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
Of course, I do not mind at all.
Well, we know how it's related, at least.
Yeah, we know how it's related, and I hadn't really registered, of course, that would be us asking her to put it in the formal. Yeah.
I can't help feeling that after this latest topic, the atmosphere in the courtroom has become extremely grave.
This is no time for jokes, Mrs. Otto. Wow, okay, cheer up, my dude. That was great.
That was great. I think so.
Madame, kindly amend your testimony as discussed.
Bien sûr. It took me a very long time because it was before the onset of rigor mortis.
So I will push her for the very final one just because before
Uh,
I present the...
Why don't we push the onset of rigor mortis one?
Already? Okay, yeah. Press.
Yeah, because then we'll do the final one and then we'll get the last one, maybe?
Yeah, let's...
Unless you...
No, I'm happy
Which
with
way
this
do you want to...
one. No, we'll press for a second. Rigor mortis being the phenomenon you describe whereby the corpse becomes stiff after death. I think you said that it starts at the jewel, about 3 hours post-death. Is that right?
Oui, c'est ça. Of course, the exact duration depends a little on the season.
Aha! I didn't realize a waxwork artisan would be so well versed in the subject.
No, that is only elementary knowledge in the field of legal medicine.
Well, I had no idea about it, but maybe I won't admit to my ignorance about forensic science.
If she showed up at 3 to 6 a.m, the body should have been stiff, which if he got out of the grave story is true. The cause of death is the bullet, not hanging, and that means she lied on the autopsy. Yeah, quite.
Yep.
There's no way a coroner would have been like, oh yeah, lol, he's dead. Yeah, exactly. Like, that. There's something sussy here for sure.
Yeah.
I could ask my father to give you a very simple primer if you like.
I think corpses should be your domain. I'm not good with them.
Oh dear, I'll do my very best.
Inosuke, stop being such a whiny piece
Yeah.
baby about this.
I mean, I guess if corpses stop showing up, he'll be out of a job. So,
As dawn approached, I was very worried that I could be discovered.
Let's press. You say that dawn was approaching. What was the time of day then, approximately?
Well, I could not say. But when I left the cemetery with my utensils and wax, the morning light was becoming visible.
the execution took place on the 17th of June, which had the earliest sunrise of that year.
Alright,
He
physics.
could
pulling
defend
out
other
the
crimes like burglary, it's true. Olive wasn't dead, no. The Shakespeare thing only had one dead person, and that was older.
Yeah.
Longer, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 4:40 in the morning, yeah, my furry Petrushkin.
Indeed it did. First light would have been at around 4:40 in the morning. That really is early.
The fact is, I had very little time, so I finished my work in a half hour.
Huh?
It was necessary to complete the impression and bury the body before daybreak, of course.
If somebody had discovered
Discovered me there, it would have been a catastrophe, so I had to hurry.
Is it me, or does Mr. Shone seem to be taking shape more quickly now, too? You certainly appear to go to extraordinary lengths for your work, madame. Is it madame?
I assume
Madame?
Madame. It wouldn't be madam.
I wonder if it was you said particularly significant. Yes.
It is, very much so. Because, yeah.
Madame, those details about how long it took you to complete the sculpture and the early sunrise. Could you include them in your testimony? I believe they may be significant.
Of course, if you would like me to.
I think, yeah, she had to be there like 3, possibly even 3 to 4, because you have to dig the grave, like, you know, not dig the grave, but like fill the grave in and everything, and make sure that he's reinterred before it starts getting light, which if that's at like, I suppose if it starts getting light at 4:30, yeah, but
Also, he was like,
I reckon 3 at the, call it 3:45 at the latest is when she would have had to start if she took half an hour. Because then like 4:15, and then that gives you like 15 minutes to rebury him, which is not long enough. But yeah. Either way, approximately that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
You're quite right, Mr. Naruhodo. It is intriguing. A sunrise at 4 in the morning would be absolutely unimaginable at home, wouldn't it?
that's not quite what I meant by significant. Kindly amend your formal testimony then, madame.
With pleasure, my lord.
Now we have to push her on this one again, right?
I hurried to finish my work in the half hour before sunrise. Then I left as soon as the corpse was interred.
Like, she really does make it sound like she had to leave. I mean, she was literally the half hour before sunrise.
Yeah.
But they had to have buried him before
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
But it doesn't really matter. It's
Yeah.
still too soon.
Exactly. Did you have reason to believe you might be discovered once the sun came up or something?
I had paid the gravedigger money to keep my little secret, of course. But with the morning light, I knew that the warden from the... Warden? What? The...
Oh, it's slipping, lass.
But with the morning light, I knew that the warden from the prison would commence his patrol of the area.
Couldn't you just have paid off the warden too then?
I had already paid the gravedigger, as I said. You cannot buy the silence of everyone, or the secret is no longer a secret, eh? The sunrise was at 4:40 a.m. that day, which means that it would have been around 4 when you began your sculpting work. Thanks, Francisque. That's
Yep.
helpful. Oui, that must be correct. That would be when the gravedigger gave me the signal to come out of hiding.
So, that's all I have to go on.
What's your feeling, Mr. Naruhodo?
For some reason, Dr. Scythe went along with Drebber's plan. Now, if that's really true, then the Professor is the only other thing we know of that links the pair of them. So I feel sure that waxwork must be a clue to this mystery somehow.
In that case, we must use this cross-examination to uncover exactly what it means. Otherwise, the jurors are sure to revert their leanings and the trial will be over.
Thanks for reminding me to save Susato.
Yeah.
I agree, but interestingly, uncovering what the Professor has to do with all of this means more to Lord Van Zieks than anyone. That's the impression I'm getting anyway.
Yes, as do I.
So does she only take the face or looks at the body too? I imagine she takes a glance at like body type and stuff.
Yeah, and then just
And
kinda,
then just replicates that approximately because the face is really more important.
Yeah.
Right? Like she probably kind of has like, oh yeah, he's about like,
X tall.
you know, yeah, like 6'3", kind of rangy builds, and then takes the cast of the face because that's harder to replicate, I guess.
Mhm.
He should have a bullet wound then. I think he did, didn't he?
Yes.
I think he did have a bullet wound in the body, did he not?
That I don't remember.
Can we look at our court record?
Let's have a look. Where is the...
Do we have a photo? Did we have
We
a
have a
picture of it?
photo,
I
I
forget.
Don't we?
Or did we not? Maybe we don't.
Oh, do we not have a photo of the exhibition?
What's that? And then that's the whole of the...
Oh wait, hold on.
Yeah, there was blood on the camera Drebber had. Yeah, I think that's blood that must have spattered from
Yeah.
the body. No, we don't have a photo of the thingy. I thought that we did, in fact.
Mm-hmm.
It did have a... Oh, what a pain in the bum. I could have sworn it had a bullet wound in it. I'm not going to go back and look it up on an old stream
No.
because I think
We're
that's
just
a
gonna
little
go with it.
excessive. But yeah, the camera did that. Yeah, the camera
Yeah.
definitely had blood.
The special exhibit in the House of Horrors is based on a rumor that shocked society in London.
It's slipping
Okay.
even more every time.
It's
I
okay,
see
you don't need to do them while we flip through it.
Yeah, fine.
Okay, so we have this one. We have impression. Yeah. Investigate of a gravedigger. It took me a very long time because it was before
the
the-
onset
uh-huh.
of mortis. And then that last one about I hurried to finish my work. Okay, so we've got the autopsy report saying that he died at midnight.
Yeah.
You can't shake the feeling that the ass man on the photo looks different than the ass man in your people collections thing. Yeah, he does look kind of
Yeah.
weird, but I think that's because it's a photo of a waxwork.
Yeah. Not missing anything here, are we?
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Do we want to present like the the autopsy report. I don't know, man. It's
Well,
difficult.
that's the thing. I was
Hold
wondering
on.
if we needed to present the autopsy, and if so, when so.
Yeah.
Like, the before dawn thing, or they took me a very long time thing. Because neither of them quite. So,
I
like,
think
this...
because of the rigor mortis here and the fact that his death was at midnight. I don't know. Like,
Yeah, but, like, this is what I mean. I hate that one and the other one.
yeah, you can't, like
Because,
them
yeah,
against
like,
each
the
other,
onset...
right?
Yeah, the onset of rigor mortis would have been way later than dawn.
Yeah, so
But,
shall I try?
Yeah, it could be either of them, and I hate that.
Yeah. I'm just gonna go ahead with the first one and see what we get.
Okay.
Unless you want the second one?
No, I am actually... I literally can't choose.
I don't know.
It could be equally either
Do I
of
get to
them,
do an
so-
objection? Madame Two Spells. I have here an autopsy report that was filed 10 years ago now. It confirms the death of the professor following his execution at the gallows.
And? Is that a problem?
I believe it is, because your testimony and a particular detail in the report completely contradict one another.
Good job. Quoi? Are you going to explain yourself, my Nipponese friend?
Yeah, exactly, I would have had to die at like 1.
For rigor mortis to be in by the time she dug him up. Yeah.
Yeah. According to her testimony, Madame Two Spells was creating a waxwork impression just before dawn. And at that time, rigor mortis had not yet set in.
Sorry, I should explain myself. I was trying to do maths and it was not going well in my brain. But yes, you're right. He must have died later because otherwise at 4 o'clock, he would have been actually in the 10-hour window of rigor mortis.
Yeah. Yeah.
Meaning, yeah, yeah, exactly, yeah. Sorry. I agreed with you, but my brain was just rebooting. So, yeah.
No. Am I correct so far, Madame?
Yeah, alternatively, he died earlier than midnight, meaning at earlier 6
Yeah.
p.m., meaning the time is a sham. Yeah, either of the, yeah. You are, yes? As I said, the stiffening of the jaw is the first sign of rigor mortis, 2 or 3 hours after death. But the man's chin was limp, so he cannot have been dead for a long time.
Sounds like he might have been dead for a longer time. So, well, on the other hand, if you look at Dr. Sai's report, it quite clearly states the following. Death by hanging confirmed at midnight, 17th of June.
No!
If the professor indeed died at midnight that day, then by the time you were sculpting his face, rigor mortis would already have set in.
Oui? Yes, you're right. The chin, it would have been completely stiff.
In other words, this report is wrong.
Objection!
Oh my god, you get to do an
Whoa!
objection!
Yes! No coroner makes mistakes when recording the time of death. The very idea is absurd.
Oh, people can't make mistakes, Francisque. Is that what you're saying? That's one hell of a
to be
hill
fair,
to die on.
Coroners, I mean, maybe she was working on, like,
Yeah.
maybe she forgot to change to British summertime.
Yeah!
Ah.
In that case, there's only one possible conclusion. The execution didn't actually take place at the stated time.
Cops can't lie, what the fuck, I know, right? It's impossible! Sorry. This
And
fucking
autoplay, yes, it's
auto-playing,
Yeah.
just, I'm in short. Animation is too much for me.
Order! Order! Council, this is beyond folly! Not only do you indict, right?
Indict the seer's silent.
Yeah, indict, that's what I thought.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah. The author of the report, Dr. Scythe, but you also implicate members of the staff at Berkeley Prison, where the execution took place?
Bayek.
Extraordinary!
No, in my day!
Objection!
Oh.
My learned friend.
He's so upset he starts flickering.
Okay.
Sorry.
My learned friend appears to have overlooked one very crucial fact.
What fact.
The professor died that night, without question.
I'm sorry to say, Phoenix.
It did. Of course he did. I moved the man's limp jaw with my own hands. There was no...
Yes, the professor died that night. But what if he didn't die at the gallows?
Didn't die at the... Are you insane? What exactly are you back from then? What exactly are you suggesting, he had a stroke, did happen in that case?
It's almost impossible to believe, but it would explain the link between Dr. Scythe, the professor, and the one other person of interest. I have evidence that will explain exactly what I'm suggesting happened that night.
Do we?
Do we? I was like, oh boy! Apparently we do.
Yeah, blood
Yeah.
on the camera. You're right.
Yeah.
We do. Thank
If
you.
that
Whew.
is, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, which implies that shot. Yeah. Council, present the evidence at once.
Like, oh bumps. Do we? Do
Yeah.
we? Do we
The
really?
evidence that allegedly explains what really happened on the night of the professor's execution. Here we go.
Take that!
What have we here?
Objection!
Before considering the night of the execution, I would strongly advise the defense to concentrate on what is happening right now in this courtroom.
What? Oh no, that was not
that
the right
wrong
one!
one. Seriously? Okay.
No!
Whoa.
Quite. The next time you present such a nonsensical article, Council, you may find that tonight is the night of your own execution.
God, can we
What?
report a death threat, please?
I will say from here.
Uh-huh.
Wow!
Wow.
Wow!
Like,
Hey!
okay. But I guess the newspaper article then, huh?
Yeah.
I suppose.
Ah, great. I'm so looking forward to trying again now.
I won't let anyone execute you, Mr. Naruhodo. Not tonight.
But well, worth it for just that conversation. Council, present the evidence at once.
I'll let someone execute you other nights, huh? Yeah, I guess the news article then that says that he was shot. Do we actually? Can we? No, we can't look at that one. Investigate with.
No, like there's nothing we can do the magnifying glass.
Hello, Goose.
Hello, Goose.
Hello, Goose.
Zero of our contract. Yeah, I think that's literally the only thing we have.
I think so.
Oh wait, do I need to like?
I don't think.
Well, can we not open it? Come on. I wonder if I can. Sometimes it allows me to only. Yeah, you really love this contraption. Yeah, blah 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 blah. I wonder if I can present. Like, no. I just wanted to double check if I could present it with that. Okay, Council, I'm gonna present a news article.
Bump.
Take that!
There we go. What happened that night is written very plainly in this news article. Paper article. News article! Executed criminal returns in the dead of night at local cemetery.
Yeah, present article to suggest what happened, and then present camera
Yeah,
to
to
potentially,
confirm what happened.
You're suggesting it was a corpse coming back from the dead now?
Well, if this article is to be believed, yes. The professor, assumed dead following his execution, emerged from the grave and was killed again.
Objection!
Zima did too. That's true.
Oops! Wrong
Don't
objection!
be a
Wow!
fool.
So this is just
That's
us here.
Simply a rumour published by the gutter press.
Yeah, the Daily Mail would publish this.
Yeah.
Can you be certain of that? Can't believe we're quoting the Daily Mail here.
No,
We
right?
have truly fallen.
Yeah, Assman probably did work for the Daily Mail.
Oh,
that's
he
true,
would as
yeah.
well.
Mhm.
Oh.
I've known one person who was a Daily Mail reporter, and
I did
she
not
was
like them.
she was horrible to her dog. Really, really horrible to her poor abused dog that my mum ended up adopting.
Yeah,
And
that
that
was
dog
that was
had-
proper animal abuse.
That was
That.
yeah, like she would just lock the dog in the bathroom like most of the day, like the downstairs cloakroom,
Mm-hmm.
and like yeah. Anyway, I'm not gonna go into it, but it was really, really awful. She was a horrible woman, and she failed to die from a brain tumor, which I'm going to remain neutral on. I have opinions.
Are you serious?
The point is, as the article says, there was a witness to what happened. My words, yes indeed.
She's very unhappy though, if that helps.
Mary, the young man who stole into the cemetery by chance that night.
Objection!
Of course there was a witness. The story didn't write itself, but obviously the man made it all up. Sophistry.
And in any case, this was 10 years ago. There would surely be no hope of finding him. But he's right there! Let me point at him! On the contrary, my lord, we all know this witness well.
What?
Are you suggesting, counsel, that you've identified the person in question?
Well, yeah, the newspaper article literally says who it is. Literally.
No, he's too busy coming up with new death threats. Next time you give him a piece of evidence he doesn't like.
Yep.
That you know who claims to have seen this utterly incredible events take place. Yes, my lord. In fact, you could say that he's right here before my very eyes. You will substantiate your latest claim now then, counsel. Who is the alleged witness of the staggering scene from the cemetery 10 years ago?
Like, just this is embarrassing.
That's Gregson.
Yeah.
Did I stop a shit? No,
No,
he
he's
is.
right there.
Present.
Take that!
The man in question is Mr. Enoch Drebber.
He was.
Drebber?
The previous witness! The special exhibit in the House of Horrors at Madame Tuspel's Museum of Waxwork recreates that decade-old scene in great detail. The condemned criminal emerging from the grave, and beside the tomb, a young man with a lantern stumbling upon the terrifying sight. And that young man is a 10-year younger Mr. Enoch Drebber.
He aged better. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
Than his waxwork.
He also seems to have had some trouble with his jewel.
Mm-hmm.
Order!
Sometimes warm summers, a little bit of melting wax.
Surely not, counsel.
Drebber was there in Lowgate Cemetery. What is all this talk about, Mr. Drebber? Is the name significant?
Of course you would know. Of course, Madame Tuspel doesn't know, does she? Yes, it's extremely significant, Madame. To your situation as well, in fact.
What situation?
The theft of the Professor Waxwork from your museum some days ago was perpetuated by the very same man. Oh, thank
No.
you.
No, no, but that would mean...
Madame Tuspel's. It would appear you know the name Enoch Drebber.
Yes, I know it, but from long ago in the past.
What?
Oh my.
Good gracious!
Explain yourself! Tell us everything you know! Yes, of course. The story of the young man and the terrible sight he witnessed in the cemetery 10 years ago.
Yeah, I wondered if he was a gravedigger.
Was published in every single newspaper in London and throughout Great Britain.
I mean, wait, were we not all assuming that he was the gravedigger?
I think I was also assuming, but like then first I thought he was the gravedigger,
Mm-hmm.
and like he was working for the medical something
Yeah.
or other, and then I was like, oh, I guess maybe he wasn't the gravedigger,
Yeah.
and now I'm like, I think he might be the gravedigger. I don't know. I do wonder if he was actually in there to take a photo of him,
I
like,
betcha.
or maybe he was also in there trying to dig him up. As maybe he was also getting some money on the side from Assman, possibly. Who, if Assman was like an investigative journalist or something like that, maybe he was trying to get a photograph for the scoop to get some money or something. given that he was a student.
That would make
I don't
sense,
know.
yeah.
Yeah. In throughout Grand Bretagne, yes. We've read this line. However, in all of the articles, the witness was... No, it was not. It's written in the fucking papers that you fucking showed me. What the hell? What the fuck? What? I'm sorry, it literally says who it was in the freaking... Doesn't it? I'm going mental. I swear it said who he was. Yeah. The student who has experienced this shocking event is Mr. Enoch Drebber, a disciple of science at the University of London.
Mr. Drebber's dreadful encounter!
It's right there! What the hell?
Madame! You are lying!
Madame, no! Merde! Who? Ha! I cannot read. You are correct. No details were published about his identity. His name was never revealed. What the hell?
Can I please present?
But that is... Oh.
Okay.
I get it. Okay.
Alright.
Right, it's like listening to a story from my mother. Apart from one pepper. Like, yes or no? Well, you see, it began 7 years ago when...
Like, no joke, like last week, I think she took like half an hour to tell a story that could have just been done in like...
Yeah. Well, she was telling me how it took her over an hour to find an address because in the end the person had actually given her the wrong address. But and I was genuinely like sitting there. She was like, yes, it took me over an hour to find the address. And I was like, oh, cool. And now it's going to take me over an hour to hear about it. I understand.
Narrated in real time.
It does. Oh, but yeah, the audacity to have that line when the only article we had was that one. Yeah, if you've been paying any kind of attention, it's like, excuse you? What? The Daily Circus.
Ah.
It is, yeah.
Uh-huh.
It is the paper from which comes the article I have already shown the court.
I think that should be name. It's the Daily Circus because it's a fucking clown newspaper.
Yeah. Clown car times.
You're saying that his full name was only published in that article? Goodness me! Yes, here it is. The university student who experienced this shocking event is Mr. Enoch Drebber. Yes, thanks, George, for noticing.
The old Daily then, since this is the circus and we are the clowns. Yes.
A disciple of science at the University of London and a resident of its student dorms. Yeah, we've read this already, George. Shut the hell up. Unbelievable! Inosuke, we read this!
We did. When I read the article, I went to meet with the man. His discovery of the condemned criminal coming back to life in the cemetery in the dead of night would make a perfect exhibit for my House of Horrors, whether it was the truth or not.
Yeah.
Did they just take the newspaper and not look at it? I think so. I think they just popped it in the court record and went, yep, and that will be used never.
I see. So you went to meet Mr. Drebber in order to sculpt the waxwork of the man, did you?
Exactement. He was studying science at the University of London in those days. He was just a poor student. I paid him £5 to model for the waxwork. I found him on Fiverr. And since that time, it has been in my museum to recreate the scene of terror. Scene of terror from the cemetery. She's been over here long enough that her, she, that.
Okay,
Yeah.
what of it?
Accent. Flash.
Double flash? I'm sorry. I really need to stop making very obscure references.
Is it that obscure? I mean, it is these days because Glinner.
Yes. It's a shame that he has a stink
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah, exactly.
So, 10 years ago, a young man appealed to the public about an extraordinary event he'd witnessed. A criminal who had been put to death, re-emerging from his grave in the middle of the night. But the public treated his claim as nothing more than an amusing anecdote. That was soon forgotten. 10 years later, the same man steals a waxwork model of the executed criminal, ostensibly to use as a body double for the victim in the case we're discussing here today. Even though the waxwork's build is a poor match for the victim and its face is obscured by a mask. So the question is, why would the man do such a thing? Which brings us to 3 days ago, when the birdcage crashed into the crystal tower. If the birdcage had in fact contained not the body of Mr. Assman, but the same waxwork, the coroner from Scotland Yard who investigated, Dr. Scythe, would have noticed immediately. And yet, she submitted this autopsy report for the victim, which the court has seen earlier. Why?
Because the waxwork was that of the professor. Is that what you're saying? And the name of the professor was Juliet! Yeah, coming back from the dead. Yeah. I do like how Van Zieks isn't always ready to make a line. It means you can actually see him following the logic and going, God damn it! In his head, yeah, for sure. Balls!
Dr. Scythe put her name to a document confirming the death of a condemned criminal who was still alive. A criminal whose apparent resurrection was witnessed by Mr. Trevor.
Yeah, the body of Assman had a wound too, like a gunshot, yeah.
It's a really good point. Yeah. But that misconduct was deadly secret to the coroner but that misconduct was a deadly secret the coroner would do anything to protect. Which is precisely why Mr. Trevor used that particular waxwork as the body double.
Ah! Oh.
Yep, Kyonato.
Yep.
My lord, this court must summon Dr. Scythe to the stand. The defense is determined to find out exactly how the coroner and Mr. Trevor are connected.
I can't pronounce that.
Had to leave it in for dramatic silence.
Sorry.
But according to the missive I received this morning through the prosecutor's office, Dr. Scythe is unable to participate in these proceedings. Is that not the case? Sounds sus.
So sus.
She told us so herself, didn't she?
Play the sound effect. Yeah, I'll need to pop that on our on our selection. That was a good impression of it, right?
Lord Van Zieks won't be summoning me as a witness. Lord Strongheart has forbidden it.
Lord Strongheart?
The Pandora's box you were warned about is the Professor case. And please don't make the mistake of thinking you'll get any information about it out of me.
Something happened on the night of that killer's execution 10 years ago. And surely nobody would want to get to the bottom of that more than Lord Van Zieks.
The prosecution calls for the instructions in that missive to be scrapped.
Oh.
What?
But Lord Van Zieks, that missive was issued from the Lord Chief Justice Office.
Objection!
Oh, I actually know he's more like this.
The assigned prosecutor has the final say on policy in any particular trial. In other words, me.
Yes!
Let Enoch Drebber and Dr. Scythe both take the stand. Together.
Oh, that should be good. Fight! Fight! Fight!
Everyone is looking forward to this except me, aren't they?
Order! Order! Very well, I will uphold your request. Bailiff, send a subpoena with immediate effect, addressed to Dr. Scythe of the Forensic Investigation Team. The woman is compelled to attend on Her Majesty's orders. Alright then, Enoch Drabber and Dr. Scythe. If they weren't colluding with each other, with another, one another even, God, this crime could never have been committed. I'm just a stone's throw away, I can feel it. The truth behind all of this is about to come out.
To be continued? Not even! Wow, okay.
Shows, it just feels like he's there in the room.
Transient jump scare. Thank you for your attendance at such short notice, Dr. Scythe. I'm disappointed in you, Lord Francisque. You've completely betrayed the agreed policy of both Scotland Yard and the prosecutor's office.
It's okay.
Betrayal is not in my nature, as long as the truth isn't compromised.
Yeah, you tell him, Francisque.
If it is, if there's even a hint of wrongdoing, then no matter whom it concerns or disgruntles, I will pursue the matter to the bitter end, as would any prosecutor worth his salt.
Triple dot away. So it's not triple, it's more like 5 dot. Anyway, Mr. Trevor, you took the victim's life by means of a machine that you constructed in your workshop. And Dr. Scythe, as the investigating coroner, you were the first on the scene to examine the victim's body. It is the belief of the defense that you collaborated with each other and were both complicit in this crime.
And where's your evidence?
At present, we have no definitive evidence, but we do have a significant clue.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking, of course, about the waxwork. This model of the killer, known as the Professor, who was sentenced to death 10 years ago.
You don't need to tell me. I witnessed the man's execution with my own eyes and officially pronounced him dead. Yeah, the floating jiggling Sholmes' head is extraordinarily distracting. He's just there on the side going, oh, I'm not even real! Or am I? Oh, you'll never know. Oh, that's acting. Sorry.
That remains to be seen.
Oh, is that so?
According to newspaper reports from the time, on the night following his execution, the killer came back to life.
Don't waste my time.
And the sole witness to that mysterious event was you, Mr. Drabber, wasn't it? If what you saw in the graveyard that night 10 years ago wasn't some chilling fiction but reality, it would make you privy to a very great secret of Dr. Scythe's. A secret so profound it could compel the coroner to agree to collaborate in your evil scheme, in fact. Mr. Drabber, tell the court. Tell everyone the truth of what you saw that night in Lowgate Cemetery. Bugger off. So he was the student who saw it.
You can see the resemblance actually, can't you? With the man in Madame Tuspel's, I mean.
Surely he's not going to claim that that's really what he saw, especially not after all these years.
He was a research student at the University of London, wasn't he?
And a bit too clever for his own good, if you ask me.
I don't know why I decided to do that.
What an interesting twist. When at the time, not one person would take me seriously. Yet now here we are, 10 years later, and suddenly my story matters, and in a court of law too. Very well then, if everyone so wishes. Let's be frank. I'll tell you the truth of what happened that night, for what it's worth.
So, Mr. Drebber, your testimony, please, about the events of that night 10 years ago.
You know what's funny? I consider that Scythe and Sholmes aren't exactly buddy-buddy, so it's like he's there taunting her.
Oh my god,
Just
you're
the side
right!
surface. Floating Sholmes' head can't hurt you. It doesn't exist. Ah, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you.
Yes, of course. As you wish.
Witness testimony. In the cemetery 10 years earlier.
Da, 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 da.
The reason I was in Lowgate Cemetery at all 10 years ago was for a spot of, moonlighting, shall we say. Yes, the illustration in that newspaper article was based on what I witnessed that night. But thinking back now, I realise that I never actually saw the professor. Soon afterwards, I was visited by a young woman who sculpted a model of me from wax. Then I gave up on my dream of becoming a scientist, and it was all because of that newspaper article.
Wait a minute. You're claiming you didn't actually see the professor now?
Of course, you'd have to have a screw loose if you believed a corpse could come back from the dead.
But, so you're saying this article is...
Not worth the paper it's printed on. I think that would describe it perfectly, yes.
Oh, I can't believe we're going through this all over again. Ah.
If the details in the article aren't true, it nullifies your argument for why Mr. Drebber and Dr. Scythe would have been working together. What are you doing?
Spotting romantic crushes. So, he's discrediting himself to cripple my argument.
Oh, your cigarette?
Pardon?
Cigarette? Ew, licorice is under the tea. Do you want me to pick it up for you?
Where is it? Oh, under the tea. Is it?
Yeah, it's there. It's look, it kept falling out when I went to get my tea out, so I
I'm so sorry,
put it
everyone.
underneath. Yeah. It's there. There you go. So why do I keep feeling like I'm hearing a sitcom from somewhere?
A sitcom.
I keep hearing like canned laughter.
You know what? You might as well.
Oops.
Bypass that.
What? Nothing. Do you think the dog's canned laughtering, listening to her shows?
Tell me, witness. You claim to have been in the cemetery on some auxiliary business. Can you elaborate?
No. That's right. Grave robbing, to be precise. Are you quite finished? Oh, thank you. That's very kind of you. Thank you. Thank you very much. As you know, put it away.
Sorry.
As you know, Lowgate Cemetery is at the rear of Berkeley Prison. So, among students at the university, it had a reputation for being haunted by the ghosts of condemned convicts.
Yeah. Grave robbing, you say?
It's not illegal, is it? Yes. Exhuming fresh corpses to sell is reasonably lucrative. Of course, I never laid a finger on any valuables buried with the dead.
I don't think that makes it any better. Yeah. So you were one of the so-called resurrectionists. A particularly unpleasant scourge on society and phenomenally illegal, I believe.
Actually, my fellows and I went by another name. The Repurposers.
That is quite beyond pale. You would invite divine retribution, sir.
Yes. Well, I think I suffered retribution enough. The Daily Circus eventually unearthed my name and put it in print.
Assman did
Assman.
that to him.
Yeah.
And that was his revenge.
Yeah.
Gotcha. He didn't do it for the money. He did it literally because this man ruined his fucking life. Excuse my French.
It caused me a great many headaches. In the end, I had to leave the university.
I mean, in all fairness, Asman was right to fucking put him on public name and shame.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was the only paper with the bad grace to identify me unambiguously, I might add.
Yeah, revenge on Asman and blackmailed the woman he knew didn't actually witness their death.
Yeah.
I see.
Out of interest, who drew the illustration for this article?
Oh, come on, game.
Come
We didn't have
on.
to. Oh, come
on.
Ah, yes. That was the reporter who exposed me. He sketched that right in front of me as I described the scene.
Yeah.
Obviously, as time ticked on, I bitterly regretted what I'd done. Claiming to have seen something I never truly saw. Foolish. Very foolish.
Like all the time that the fucking game that holds her hand is
Yeah,
something
right?
we picked up.
Right?
Oh.
Oh no, ads. Oh no.
Oh, wait a sec. Can't believe this. Curse you, ads.
So rude. 30 seconds.
30 seconds remaining. Oh. It would always be on a tasty moment. This is a long ad. Bloody
is.
hell.
No, they're always about that long, aren't they?
I don't know.
I thought.
Yeah, Gandus, because you're like awesome
Like-
and subscribed.
Also you're Turbo, aren't you? think.
Ah.
I think you're the one we get the Turbo ad-free stuff from.
Well, we're back.
Woohoo.
We waited.
You're not Turbo. Somebody's Turbo. Somebody keeps giving us ad revenue via Turbo. I thought it was you. Wow, I'm sorry. Somebody's Nyun.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, counsel for the defense, you may proceed to the cross-examination now. At once, my lord. Who's Toby?
Toby's not here.
Is that like, I don't know, the vaporwave cousin of Kirby?
Yes.
Toby? Anyway, in the cemetery 10 years earlier. Werby is Wario on
Yeah.
a Turbo subscription. Werby, Turby, and Kirby.
Warp! Family's all back together. Yeah, it's adorable. Looking for the game next year.
The reason.
Like Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Yeah, exactly.
The reason I was in Lowgate Cemetery at all 10 years ago was for a spot of moonlighting, shall we say.
Hold it!
By moonlighting, you mean grave robbing, do you?
Surely you only need to look at the graveyard scene and my appearance to gauge the answer to that.
The lantern and spade.
Shuttle. But who on earth would want to buy a dead body?
Any major hospital.
A hospital?
In order to better understand the human body, the study of anatomy is crucial to medical science.
But there isn't a hospital in the world that has enough specimens to work with.
That's no longer the case. Now we have too many. No, we do.
Yeah, Sholmes' floating head is gone.
Oh god, you're right. Wait, hold on. Let's check. Oh, she's just standing
She's
here
just
now.
standing there. She put her arts and crafts away. Rude.
Though, obviously, they can't openly express an interest in obtaining more by dubious means.
As aspiring scientists, we young research students had no money to work with, as I'm sure you can imagine. So we made surreptitious arrangements with a hospital via some of our medical student acquaintances. We would never take anything of value from the graves. This was all for the furtherance of science, you see.
I hope she gestures with Sholmes' head. Me too, Goose.
That's what we all told ourselves every time we stole into the graveyard at night, spade in hand.
You realise body snatching is a serious crime. If you were caught, you could expect the gravest of consequences, pun intended.
We students were caught between the hammer and the anvil. We needed funds for research.
Professor Harebrained said exactly the same. I'm quite speechless at the apparent levity with which you've revealed his abhorrent behaviour.
Well, if you wanted to know why I was there at Lowgate Cemetery, that's the reason. But I never expected it to end the way it did. That I regret to this day. Yes, the illustration in that newspaper article was based on what I witnessed that night.
Hold it!
The strange happening at Lowgate Cemetery, which you now deny.
Not entirely. I ran to fetch the police at the time, you know. I was shaking like a leaf. But they didn't believe a word of it. In fact, I was very nearly arrested myself.
So you went to the papers instead?
I started big with the London News, but unsurprisingly, they didn't want to know either. In the end, though, it was reporters from the gossip rags, the gutter press, that came to get my story. And it spread like the plague through the capital, as gossip-hungry Londoners lapped up the tale.
You basically went to the Daily Sport, yeah, or the Metro. The story was in every single paper at the time, with the exception of some broadsheets.
And yet only 2 or 3 of them actually interviewed me personally. Most of the accounts turned out to be very interpretive ghost stories.
What about the article in the Daily Circus?
Well, that particular journalist found me at my dormitory. I don't know how, but he discovered my name. So I recounted to him exactly what had happened that night.
And from your description, he drew this illustration.
Precisely. That's how I learnt that the condemned man was the infamous Professor. Because the reporter told me so. I had no idea myself, you see.
Newspaper reporters are wont to snoop around in matters that don't concern them. So the scene portrayed in the illustration is accurate, then?
Well, thinking back now, I realise that I never actually saw the Professor at all, though.
Hold it!
What are you talking about?
I think I explained already, didn't I? Lowgate Cemetery is at the rear of Berkeley Prison. So it was renowned among us students at the university for being haunted by the ghosts of condemned convicts. For some absurd reason, I was scared of the graveyard at night, and as a result only too willing to believe that nonsense about the dead coming back to life.
Well, you said you actually saw it.
I said what I'd seen in my mind's eye. After all, resurrection is impossible, isn't it? You'd have to be unhinged to think otherwise.
You alright though?
Yes.
Unless, of course, you have some evidence that proves I encountered the professor that night. Your camera, maybe?
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Do we just want to go for it?
We could do. Are you cold? Do you want me to turn the heater?
I'm
back
okay.
on? You sure?
Yes, I am cold, but it's okay.
You want me to get you a fleecy warmth cone?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Court record. Can we just present this?
Yeah.
No, we can't
No,
present
I
it.
guess we can't present it yet.
No.
Oh well.
I don't know. Is there any material evidence that we could show that he did really see the professor?
If we have any control, Mr. Naruto.
I know, I need to present it against that irritatingly backtracking statement of his.
The point is, that night was a pivotal moment in my life.
Okay, so the game's literally telling us to go back to that statement there and present it. Should we just go for it?
Yeah, could do.
Oh, shit!
Huh?
I didn't mean to press. Oh god.
Oh well.
Sorry. Oh, he can do his little dance. You'll get to witness his beautiful animation. Surprised this man never ended up as a tomboy sexy man. Okay, present.
Objection!
An objection. Oh, I have to object. Oh, no. Shall I reload? I'll reload.
Do.
Good now.
Yeah, I guess we'll probably have to finish it and then go back.
Yeah.
I do think his character design's quite fun. I don't like it. As in I find it disturbing, but I think it's a good character design.
Okay, yeah.
Soon afterwards, I was visited by a young woman who sculpted a model of me from wax.
Hold it!
A young woman being Madame Two-Spells, of course.
Precisely. I must say I didn't expect to run into her again like this 10 years later.
As I have explained, I went by the name published in the article and comme ça, I found the man.
Yes, the article in the Daily Circus, I think you said.
I was a poor student, with barely a penny to my name at the time. And the young lady put £5 in front of me.
So you readily consented to having a waxwork of yourself made and gave permission for it to be put on display?
I did. I should sell what little I had to sell, I concluded.
Ah, oui, I remember now. I purchased something else from you that day, n'est-ce pas?
Oh gee, could it be a camera?
Did you? I can't say I remember.
What was it?
Yep.
It's camera!
Ah.
Oh yes. I made a point of taking it with me whenever I made an excursion into any cemetery.
Like £5, like I don't know how much a camera was, but those things were pricey surely around that time.
I mean, £5 is quite a lot of dosh.
Yeah, I
And it
suppose.
might be that it was worth more than. I mean, it was worth
Yeah.
five. Yeah.
Yeah. You took a camera with you, sir? To what end?
To record the details of the bodies I disinterred. But I had no intention of ever visiting a graveyard again after that night, so I sold it.
I see.
But I still have it, monsieur. It is part of the special exhibit in my House of Horrors. I am very meticulous about such details. It is the Tospel's way. It would seem, then, that this is the very camera Mr. Drebber took with him to Lowgate Cemetery on the night in question.
Yes, interesting. The details of the camera have been updated. The actual camera that Mr. Drebber had with him in the cemetery 10 years ago. When the lens is extended, dark staining can be seen on the pillars.
Then I gave up on my dream of becoming a scientist, and it was all because of that newspaper article.
It just went to the next one, oh god. What's Drebber up to? Why would he suddenly change his tune and recant his claim?
I wonder if perhaps it's because his circumstances have changed now.
What circumstances?
Well, if he admits to having seen the Professor emerging alive from his grave 10 years ago, it will expose a secret in Dr. Syde's past that she would desperately want to hide.
Yes, of course. If Drebber and Dr. Syde are working together now, then if Drebber were to betray her, there would be no reason for her to continue to cooperate. In that case, there's only one way around it. I'll have to prove he really did see it. Prove he really did see the Professor's corpse coming from the dead, as he originally claimed.
Yes, Mr. Naruhodo, exactly.
Cool, but I'm still gonna press the last statement first.
Yes.
Press
Hold it!
blood on the camera. This article, you mean, published in the Daily Circus?
Yes. Somebody informed the Dean that it was my name that appeared in the article, and carelessly let slip that night after night I was digging up graves. Hardly a model student, you might say. The university's reputation was execrably defiled, and I was expelled as a result.
Mon Dieu, I had no idea.
And having been run out of university, you found employment in a somewhat specialist trade.
You combined your knowledge of science with knowledge of stage magic to create various experimental machines intended to demonstrate never-before-seen technology, and to use those deceptive machines to trick the government and private investors into giving you money. Professor Albert Harebrain was just your latest victim, wasn't he?
Whatever are you talking about? I have no recollection of doing anything of the sort.
What's Drebber up to? Why would he suddenly... Oh wait, change... Yeah, okay, no, this is
Yeah.
the same thing as earlier. Okay, I'm not gonna go through that again. La-li-da-di-da. So now I need to figure out, like...
Well, we can always just save and do the camera thing again.
Yeah.
Although we can always try looking at the blood again and see if it's changed.
Oh, that's a good point. Like, since the thingy got... Oop. Examine... Yada yada yada. No, doesn't look there's any new info.
But let's click on the blood anyway, just in case it gives us an idea. I don't know.
No, Hodo, what is it?
On the bellows just here, there seem to
Oh.
be some very red
Some stains of some
Yeah.
kind.
You're right, it looks like blood actually.
That's a terrible film. Blood action. Yeah.
Oh, oh my!
I'm sure this is not what you're thinking. Ha ha ha.
And there was no film in there to expose.
Yeah.
Well, we might as well save and then present. Just in case. I can't think of anything else. And they did build that whole thing about like, oh, we have the camera. I
But yeah.
didn't know.
So yes, I was thinking right now, Rhea's never existed for the professor.
Yeah, so it was the soon after. Oh, I realised I never saw the professor. One.
Yeah.
Yeah, Van Six probably does have the glass of the camera. Like, yeah, he's like kept it in his room because it's like the last photograph of something, his brother, something. Just by chance, yeah. So they're now present on the one where he claimed he never saw him, or when Madame talks about it, which I don't think she does talk about. Like, I mean, I think we can only present evidence on these green bits, can't we?
This is like the very first.
So I think
chunk.
it'll have to be the one where he says that, because that's the one that leads to the conversation about. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've been so wrong before, and it's been so bad. But yeah.
Yeah, no, it's because she leads on in another conversation, but it's a conversation where we can't present anything.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna present this objection. That last statement.
Oh, seriously? Ugh.
Okay.
Jeez, okay.
Okay.
What? Oh, my bad.
It's time to figure out what the game wants.
Yep. Gee whizzes. Okay. I mean, I guess the fact that the signature is Odie Assman, because he does say at the very end, doesn't he, that the reporter ruined his life?
Do we need to present this thing again? Like, oh shit, that's not what I meant to do.
Well,
It seems to be the right one. Sorry,
Oh.
Mr. Drebber, but I don't believe that.
My God, well done.
I was like, do we need to present this one? I was like, I better double check. Oh.
Don't believe what?
Your latest claim. You did see the professor that night 10 years ago.
Oh dear, we seem to be at odds, but I was there, and you were not. I know what I didn't see.
The illustration with this article was drawn based upon what you told the journalist that you witnessed. A figure emerging from a tomb, wearing an iron mask.
Yes, when the killer was tried 10 years ago,
This is just absurd.
it was decided in the closed court's ruling that the man would wear the mask to hide his identity.
It's just, is anybody just gonna say why? Like,
No, right? It wasn't to be removed even during his execution and subsequent burial.
what? Not even the prison wardens were there to see the man's face. But obviously the provision of the mask was not public knowledge.
I see. Righto.
So, Mr. Drebber, as you've just heard,
Oh,
a lowly student of the University of London certainly wouldn't have known about the condemned man's mask. So unless you'd actually seen the professor that night, it's inconceivable that the artist would have included the mask in that illustration.
oh,
Oh no.
Inconceivable.
Order! Order! Well, Mr. Drebber?
it's a vile scene, isn't it? If you look closely. And as I've already been at pains to point out, I was utterly petrified, which is why I had it in my head that I'd seen such a blood-curdling sight. But afterwards, I came to my senses and realised that I'd been mistaken.
Did you actually watch it? Did you watch Princess Bride? Oh, last night I was going to say.
Oh,
It's good. I haven't watched it for a little while now.
no, we haven't.
It's fun.
I kind of enjoyed it. I always thought I would hate it, but instead, turns out I really enjoy it.
It was one of those films that I'd never even heard of until I was in my early 20s, I think. And then somebody was just like, yeah, you absolutely have to watch it. How have you never seen it? I was like, oh.
It sounded like really boring to me because like, oh, it sounds like a rom-com. I don't want to watch it, and I found out I was just being dumb.
I still prefer The Labyrinth.
Well,
I
yeah,
will.
that kind of goes without saying almost, doesn't it?
For me,
Like,
yes.
Yeah.
I'm a labyrinth.
You can quote that fucking movie.
No, I can't.
Once upon a time, I could do that with Lord of the Rings, but I can't.
Yeah, that's
anymore.
a more impressive. To be fair, there's
Is
there's
it?
a bit.
Is
Yeah,
it
there's
really?
a bit more of it.
Yeah. Sometimes I just remember that I bought that movie on VHS tape.
I have the first one on VHS
Yeah.
tape, but I never managed. Somehow I just never bought the other two. Did see it in the cinema though, all three of them. Yeah. Then I also saw Shrek in the cinema, which
Yeah, that's.
dates me. Anyway.
Well, I rented that movie, so that also I rented Shrek. I think that also. This is side hustle.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. You're still saying you didn't see it?
If you're stubbornly sticking to that story, witness, then amend your testimony to explain exactly how you think your eyes deceived you.
Of course. Only too happy to oblige.
I can't believe he's still not going to concede the point.
He knows he's going down anyway, so he might as well go down big.
What I in fact witnessed was a fellow grave robber at work.
What?
Hold it!
A fellow grave robber? What are you talking about?
Well, I wasn't the only one busy in the cemetery that night, you know. Other body snatchers were at work. Of course, when I saw one emerging from the hole he dug, my heart very nearly stopped. So that's the terrifying sight I actually saw, you see.
Gonna make you your next D&D character. Honestly, I love that concept.
You're claiming it was just another student on equally insalubrious business as yourself.
Many of the medical students would wear metal masks to protect them from bacteria during dissections. Clearly, the fellow was using such a mask to protect his anonymity, wouldn't you say?
Objection!
No, we have an objection with that. But there's more to the story, isn't there? The article goes on to say, in the next second, a gunshot rang out suddenly from behind. God, some sentences, man. The bullet pierced the resurrected man's chest, whose breast then stilled once more. We might assume that the sexton... I can't read anymore. We might assume that the sexton discovered the miscreants at work, perhaps, and fired upon...
One of them.
Thank you. If a gravedigger had shot someone in the cemetery, I think it might have been rather big news, my lord. Ah, yes, well.
I can only assume it was an embellishment bolted on later by the reporter.
Okay, she has something to say about this.
Excuse me.
Ah, well.
Madame Tussmels, don't take it out on Mr. Sholmes. I mean, we all want to, but it's not the right thing to do.
Oh la la, pardon. I was lost in my thoughts.
Would it be fair to say that Mr. Drebus's last remark was significant to you in some way?
I thought it was a little strange, that's all. How Monsieur Dreber could claim this now.
If you don't mind me saying, madame, what are you talking about?
Well, when I met you 10 years ago at your university dormitory, you recounted to me about your adventures in the cemetery, no? Including the gunshot.
Stop! You might want to watch your tongue, you know.
Objection!
Have a care, Dreber. That's no way to speak to a lady.
Oh, right, yeah, you're one to talk, mate.
Please, Madame Tussmels, carry on.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, according to what Monsieur Dreber told me at the time, he did hear a gunshot from behind him, and the bullet hit the condemned man.
I said nothing of the sort.
No, you were very explicit about the details. About the masks that the figure was wearing. And the blood that spattered over you when he was shot.
Camera!
Boom.
Camera!
Camera!
Enough! Shut up, woman! You're making all this up!
Ouch.
That will do!
That was a mistake.
Mr. Drebber.
Yes.
If the account is given by Madame Tusspass?
I have no recollection of ever saying those things.
Come on, do you really expect us to believe you? Control yourself, counsel. I will not permit baseless accusations in my courtroom. But okay. This is a lot to say to the judge. Seriously, this is a biased judge if I've ever seen one.
It's perjury when we do it, but it's not perjury when Van Seeks does it.
Right.
Right.
Under the circumstances.
Under the circumstances. Under the circumstances.
I'm gonna mute you. I think it's best that you supplement your testimony with a statement to clarify your position on this witness.
No, very well.
Yeah, he threatened to murder us. That's okay. He's the judge.
Yeah.
It's apparently a perk of the job. Like, he doesn't get to say slurs, but he does get to, like, threaten people.
And he questions facts.
Yeah.
What are facts? I mean, what are facts?
Right, Game Face? Right? Yeah.
There was no gunshot from behind me at all, nor any spattering blood.
Okay, fuck it. This is straight up bullshit.
We haven't pressed him on that though, have we?
Okay, fine, we'll press him first, because otherwise the game is bang. Oh! Yet Madame Tusspass has testified that you told her about both of those details.
Not true. I said nothing of the sort.
10 years have passed. Without material evidence to the contrary, you have no grounds on which to question the witness's word.
Ugh. Tell me, Madame Tusspass,
Oui?
what exactly did Mr. Drebber say about the blood that apparently spattered on him?
Lord, this is what he told me. All of a sudden, he heard a very loud gunshot from behind his back. A bullet hit the figure who was emerging from the tomb in the middle of the chest in his heart.
One dreadful sight after another.
Since Monsieur Drebber was at that time facing towards the condemned man, the blood sprayed from the wound and spattered on his body. That is what he told me.
So, not an experience you would ever forget, is it?
Precisely. And I didn't forget it, because as I've already said, it never happened in the first place.
He's clearly lying. If only he had some evidence to prove it!
Some kind of blood-spattered camera, perhaps?
We can't let him win, Mr. Naruhodo. So we mustn't overlook a single detail, no matter how small, or no matter how badly the judge threatened to execute us the last time we presented it in court.
I'll go safe, I'm scared of the judge.
We showed it once, twice, 3 times already. Yeah. I'm sorry that we did the hive mind thing again. Ace Attorney superpowers. Choo choo. I'm just glad that I got to do the once, twice, 3 times already thing.
Mr. Drebber, do you remember this camera?
But that is the camera from that fateful night. You've stolen it from my bloody exhibition.
Legitimately, like, oh yeah, sorry babe, we just took this. We've been carrying it around London, but clearly you didn't need it on account you didn't miss
notice, yeah. I hate that I don't know that tune.
Yes, we borrowed it from the House of Horrors. It's the camera you took with you to the cemetery that night, Mr. Drebber.
And is that supposed to be significant?
Check out what it does when we extend the camera.
That's what she said.
The kind of camera is rarely seen in our homeland, so my colleague and I were keen to examine it closely. We noticed that the lens extends forwards on the end of some bellows. Like this.
Hold it!
Hold it!
What's that? There! Just on the bellows!
Okay, the 6 is right in here!
Wow, it looks like a dark red stain.
Ugh.
That's right. It's a rather conspicuous mark. Conspicuous, thank you, conspicuous. Oh, anyway, conspicuous mark here on the bellows, in fact.
Like blood? Perhaps? No, not in my court!
Good lord, are you suggesting? Yes, my lord. It would appear to be a spatter of blood.
Something that could be confirmed with a simple chemical test. Isn't that right, Dr. Scythe?
Boing.
It would be difficult to determine if it was human blood and not the blood of some animal. But yes, to test whether or not it's blood at all is simple enough.
If Antix really wants to know the truth at this point, yes.
I proposed that Madame Two-Spell's testimony was correct, and that on the night in question, 10 years ago, you were spattered with blood from the gunshot wound.
Well,
And that, furthermore, you really did witness the condemned professor emerging from his tomb.
Just peed a little in my trousers.
There's simply no way you could have forgotten such a traumatic experience.
It's so warm.
In other words, the only explanation is that you're trying to hide the fact that you saw the professor that night. Your pants does not hide on this.
But why? Why would he want to do that?
Well, not for his own gain, it would seem.
For whose then? For who could benefit?
Mr. Drebber is obviously lying in order to protect somebody. My goodness! He's shielding someone! I'm so tired of this, Josh. Yes, my lord. And clearly, it's someone who doesn't want the truth about the professor coming back to life to be exposed.
The judge's
Well.
toupee is just leaving the building.
Yeah. Who is it then? Who is the witness trying to protect? Sorry. Who's the witness trying to protect by lying about what he saw that night? Chat? Yes.
I don't know, chat! Every time he's off screen, he's frankly recentering it. Yeah. Maybe it's on a small caterpillar. And the caterpillar's job is just to move it back.
Yeah, I was leaning
I think
towards
it-
Scythe, but
I think it has to be Scythe, but also that feels almost too off.
definitely Crixon. Okay, we're gonna go with it.
Take that!
The obvious answer is Dr. Scythe.
That's true. Scythe?
What? Whatever do you mean?
Yeah, he does need to shield her to shield himself. It's true, you're right. Because we also, she said, I mean, Susato even said that. Yeah, you're right.
Imagine if the convict who'd been sentenced to death was not in fact killed. Imagine if that was to come to light.
What are you insinuating?
And imagine if the convict in question was the country's most hated mass murderer. If it was the professor, that would be an unprecedented scandal.
Objection!
This is beyond a joke! Need I point out that the dead cannot come back to life? What you're suggesting would mean that the execution never actually happened.
Yes, that's exactly what it would mean.
Objection!
I like how that just lagged for a moment, his objection. He's like, objection!
I mean, maybe that was it. Maybe he was like, objection!
Yeah, I think so.
Once a man is sent to the gallows, he hangs. No one could escape. Not in Great Britain.
Yeah, if you have enough money, you can.
Yeah.
Come on, be real here. But the fact is, there was a witness to the fact that the man did escape his hanging.
I think the fact that the guy who killed his brother didn't receive justice, like, I think, well, he did get shot, but potentially
Yeah.
he might have gotten away with it.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for these pesky kids.
Yeah. If that were really true, Counsel, the implications of misconduct would not stop at the supervising coroner. It would taint the honor of the entire judiciary from the ground up. Yes, sir. And it's exactly because of those monumental repercussions that Dr. Scythe would consent to any demand made of her by someone who threatened to expose the secret, even if that meant being complicit in a crime. You mean? I mean that Dr. Scythe wasn't collaborating in Mr. Drebber's wicked scheme. She was coerced into collaborating in order to protect her decade-old secret. She switched the dead body of Mr. Assman with the waxwork model and fabricated the autopsy report.
Ah.
Oh!
Woo,
Whoa!
leggy.
Whoa, full leggy, chalice, whoa! Loaf and six?
Pray forgive my freshly filled, hallowed chalice, and a whole raft of other discourtesies now.
Wow, okay.
You know it's getting serious when he pulls out the leg.
Goodness me.
It's just the sort of tall tale Londoners would enjoy, I grant you. An executed killer rising from the dead, a Scotland Yard cover-up, a conspiracy at the highest levels.
Sorry, do you have comments?
Judge, what? The judicial and police breaking the law and then avoid a scandal? That never happens, Gregson. Yeah. No, never. Adverts on my Twitch channel?
Oh, we'll wait.
Never!
We'll wait. This is too juicy to continue.
Yes.
Maybe we'll get another Van Ziek's leggy. Who knows?
He's doing his hamstring stretches. Got to limber up them glutes.
One of the ads people are getting.
Yeah, always.
Oh, again, dude.
Thank you,
Just have to do that.
Now, nobody has to worry about.
Oh,
Many people don't have to worry about.
many people do not have to. Okay.
They've left ads. Thank you, Ganondoodles. That's so sweet. You didn't have to do that. So let me ask you one thing.
What's that?
If the condemned man really did emerge from his tomb that night, only to be shot in the chest, who pulled the trigger and disposed of him forever?
We have a crunch.
We have a crunch.
Yeah, I wish you could just give sub to particular people. I don't know how it works.
Like, I actually don't know how gift subs work at all. Like,
we are little. We just stream here because it's a easy
It's a
platform, but we
good
don't actually know how it
place to-
works. We're like,
yeah.
oh.
Well, like, I've been on other people's streams, but
Yeah.
I've never actually really used it properly. Click on the name and gift sub.
Neat.
That's good to know.
Okay.
That's
here we go.
handy. Who did it? I have no idea.
Well, I have no idea at the moment.
You like to do so multiple, so it's not single charges on your account. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
We have too little information to work that out at present, I think.
Do we?
I think we do. Do you know what they don't think?
I couldn't agree more. He's refilling!
Wow!
Oh, he is.
He is really, he's a smashy. The Old Bailey is no place for wild fantasies. And have you considered this, my learned Nipponese friend?
Considered what?
Do you realize just what a dangerous endeavor it would be to coerce this woman into such criminal activity?
I mean, it does kind of like... It seems like a really bad idea, but
It's tantamount to declaring war on the entire British police force and judiciary, which, to be fair, I think this man is just about deranged enough to do.
Quite. Hard to imagine any sum of money being offered for research could warrant it.
to rely on a stage deception when so much is at stake would be madness. Well, I suppose.
And this was no petty crime either. The victim was murdered. A man who'd already invested money in the venture and would be instrumental in future profits too.
Come
Yeah, but
on.
he ruined his life.
You literally dropped the hint earlier. Like,
He ruined
sir.
his life. He ruined his life.
Yes, I had no reason to kill Mr. Assman at all.
I mean, come the fuck on. Like,
Literally,
Look,
that
his
is
name.
his signature right,
it's right
there.
here.
Oh,
It's right there.
Assman. He
It's right
was
there.
the journalist who ruined his life. Right there.
Like,
Holy
and if,
moly.
in case you missed it, here it is again.
Right there, we've got
Whoa.
his signature. Boom!
Wow!
Like,
yeah, like it's a giant signature. Like, imagine the newspaper, like, drawing
yeah, they were like,
something.
oh, who did that picture? Oh yeah, it was the journalist who did the article. Mad sheep rampage. Most important article in the...
Actually, we can read it now. Do you
can.
do you want? Hold on. Hold on.
Unexplained for... I could have...
Do you not want the larger version?
Fine. Well, now I have to... Unexplained phenomenon grips Oxfordshire region. Locals reported a most remarkable circumstance. I did actually read this.
You did, didn't
I
you?
read that.
Yeah.
Copley Medal, by the way.
Pardon?
Charles Darwin to receive Copley Medal.
Compliment.
Copley Medal, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sheep just left the
Yeah.
building. Oh, and London's getting plumbing.
Allegedly, we got plumbing once upon a time.
Allegedly. The Copley Medal is the Society's eldest and most prestigious award. That is neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, genuinely, I think they just updated some newspaper articles from the time.
Yeah.
Or are you forgetting that his death results in me receiving not a single penny?
I don't think it mattered to you.
No.
The court is already aware of the contract between myself and the victim, no?
There is the contract. That's very true. Like the game is literally going like, check the contract again.
Yeah, look at the contract.
Ah.
Maybe have you missed something? You should look at everything.
We have been
Ooh.
stumped on cases. Like, fuck
Yeah,
anyway.
we've had cases where we were like, I genuinely don't. But mostly it's usually I don't know what they want us
Yeah.
to do with the information we have, in what order, and with whomst.
Yeah.
But,
The motive for this case runs deep, though. I can
Yeah.
feel it.
Yeah, using threats to force the head of the forensic investigation team to cooperate is extreme. Especially for a government grant he had no guarantee of receiving in the first
Halt.
place.
The reason!
No.
If the research grant was the aim, taking Mr. Assman's life would have made no sense anyway. Which means Mr. Drebber's motive wasn't money at all.
No!
He was just trying to kill Mr. Assman. But why? What was his motive then?
Your time is up, my learned friend. I'd say you have one last chance before the jury lose their patience with this charade. Let's see if you can back up your heady proposal, shall we?
What? Oh my god, I love how he just,
Yeah, he just-
like he's moving backwards. Does he have a special like extra sense?
I
Does,
think
like,
so, yeah.
There we go. Oh, Sorry, that's me hitting I.
How do you explain why this engineer would throw all caution to the wind and threaten his own country?
I hope that's one where he just literally yeeted into Kazuma's head.
I want that to be a thing. So
At
badly.
this point, I am not prepared to listen to more of this outlandish conjecture without. Holy shit, Josh. So, counsel, present your evidence.
I'm going to say, okay, assistant, I'm going up against a man who drives me insane. We're practicing chalice dodging. Now! I think that's how Kazuma remembers us. By chalice to the head, imagine. Yes, just the bottle yeeting. Clong. Oh, Reno, Suzato, what are you doing here?
Alright, who exactly was Mr. Asman to Drebber? There's a connection there that no one's seen yet.
We've all seen it!
And I'm going to have to present 2 pieces of evidence
I wonder what those could
to
be!
show what it is. Yes, my lord. The evidence that establishes a motive and explains why the witness wanted to kill the victim dead is right here. So we're gonna present this one. It's this newspaper article, my lord.
That was written 10 years ago, and every detail has been examined already.
Christ.
What can it possibly tell us?
Fun 6? Who did this? Oh, I don't know.
Every detail has been examined thoroughly by Scotland Yard's finest. There's nothing there to... Oh, right, yeah, no, that. Yeah, we missed that. Mm-hmm.
That drivel should never have been written. It's typical gutter press nonsense that means nothing.
Yes, on its own, it isn't particularly significant. However, when considering alongside another piece of evidence,
Should have gone to Specsavers.
it will completely explain your motive for wanting Mr. Asman dead.
What other evidence? Jesus Christ, it's like none of us can read!
Okay, I'm not even gonna read the the evidence, which will cross-reference. Yeah. Well, here we go. Fucking hell. In this contract, my lord, Mr. Drebber, this is the contract you signed with Mr. Asman.
Yes, that's right. The very document, in fact. That proves I had no reason to kill the man.
No, I'm afraid not.
What?
There's something very significant that this newspaper article and the contract have in common. Really? Jesus Christ, Judge, just stop talking, actually. And it's that common link that shows very clearly why you were determined to kill Mr. O.D. Asman.
Is that toothpaste soaked in mercury or what? Facts. What do you mean? It seems the defense has uncovered something the rest of us have missed.
How is it even possible for Zeke? She even asked about it. Like,
So, my learned friend, point out what these 2 pieces of evidence have in common. Where exactly is the link between this newspaper article and the contract? Thank you.
what these 2 pieces of evidence have in common, it's surprised they didn't make me go to the other one as well,
Yeah.
is a signature. A signature?
Like he's finding out what it is for the first time.
The signature on the illustration that accompanies the 10-year-old article and the signature on the contract belong to the same person.
We are so lucky that his signature didn't involve in the last 10 years.
What?
Oh!
As the court has heard, this illustration was drawn 10 years ago by the newspaper reporter who found Mr. Drebber and interviewed him about his ordeal.
Can you eat Assman's signature? Please don't eat Assman's signature.
If If you look closely, the reporter's signature can be seen in the bottom right of the drawing.
Look closely. It's like the literal single biggest part of the drawing.
Yeah, they were not subtle about
No,
it. I
we're
think
not.
it would have been funnier if it was slightly smaller. if I'm
It would
honest.
actually have been, yeah, because then we'd
Because
have
if
been
you
like,
still see the outline.
Yeah, exactly. It's a bit big.
Also because, like, the thing is, for me, it would have made more sense if it was really small, because Van Ziek asks
Van
about
Six is
it.
like, yeah, who did this?
Yeah, so anyway. And if you look at the contract here, which was signed between the witness and the victim last year, you can clearly see Mr. Assman's signature at the bottom.
To refer to Drover, he probably doesn't have good depth perception. Yeah, and Van Six
Yeah.
is probably sloshed, although I think he throws away more than he actually drinks.
Yeah. Let me see. Oh, good lord, yes! They're identical!
Don't say!
In short, the journalist who drew the illustration and wrote the article published about Mr. Drebber 10 years ago was the victim of this case, Mr. VoD Assman.
This is why Mummy drinks. Stay hydrated, kids. What did
Sorry.
he do? I missed it.
Oh, you poor section.
But explain to the court why. My brother in court! Why do you think? Why would that? He literally just tells you. Oh, it's snowing? That's so cool. We don't
Oh.
get snow here. We just get wet,
Rain.
slushy rain.
So much rain.
Why would that constitute a motive for the witness to murder Assman? It's like the man can't hear.
Well, if you think back, you'll remember that Mr. Drebber talked about that article in his testimony. Oh god, we got grave robbing, you say?
You had snow all day today. I'm so jealous.
Yes, exhuming fresh corpses to sell is reasonably lucrative.
That's quite beyond the pale. This would invite divine retribution, sir.
Yes, well, I think I suffered retribution enough.
Yeah, we just get cold.
We just
And no
literally
snow.
never got snow. I'm so mad. It's so cold. You've crocheted yourself a hat and a pair of fingerless mitts today, and you're working on a cowl too. That's so cool. I knitted one mitten last year, and I kept meaning to knit the other mitten. So I have one mitten, and now it's cold enough that I want two mittens, but I didn't get round to knitting myself a second mitten. So it's just one mitten and a fingerless glove that I knitted like 2 years ago, and yeah.
The Daily Circus eventually unearthed my name and put it in print, and caused me a great many headaches. In the end, I had to leave the university. That was the only paper with the bad grace to identify me unambiguously, I might add.
Smitten by mittens.
Then I gave up on my dream of becoming a scientist, and it was all because of that newspaper article.
At the time, you were a student of the University of London who dreamt of becoming a scientist. However, this single newspaper article changed your entire life.
It's very sweet of you, you don't have to. But I appreciate it.
Aye. So, Mr. Assman used to be a newspaper journalist, did he?
He did, my lord. In fact, it's a widely held belief that Assman managed to position himself at the heart of his criminal network thanks to the many dubious connections he made during his time as a reporter.
So you had to give up on your dream and leave university. You lost everything. Eventually you found yourself working in the field of science, but only in the shadows. And all because of that article, written by Mr. Assman.
Enough! I mean,
Enough! Stop this endless drivel about my life.
What? Explain yourself, Mr. Drebber!
I said don't talk to me about life. Yes, it's true. I had to leave the university as a result of that article. But it was just the straw that broke the camel's back.
What do you mean?
Almost every student of science in the faculty was too poor to actually conduct any research. but they struggled on with their hypotheses anyway. We all did, only to have them taken by vultures. Sooner or later, you knew your ideas would be stolen and patented by some wretch or other, after all.
Good gracious.
Making a name for yourself as a scientist in a climate like that was a miracle only a select few geniuses could ever hope to achieve. Personally, I wasn't one of those geniuses, so it was hardly a wrench. Being forced out of the university because of Lowgate was the best thing that could have happened to me.
Objection!
Mr. Trevor, do you genuinely believe that?
Of course I do! Who's better placed to know whether or not I possess a talent for science than me?
We've got his trophy, haven't we?
Yeah. I'm sorry to say that your words don't ring true at all.
How dare you!
And I have evidence to prove it.
How are you in a position to say anything about me? I don't know you from Adam. Fine. If you think you have evidence, go ahead. Show it. What could you possibly have to disprove the idea that I was happy to leave university because I lacked talent?
Take that!
Do you remember this, Mr. Trevor? We found it at your workshop.
I mean,
Oui. Is that a Royal Society trophy for excellence in science?
What exactly is this trophy, Count?
you've never seen a trophy for excellence in anything, have you?
It's the greatest honor that can be bestowed on a young scientist, my lord.
There is no higher accolade. It recognises emerging talent and promises a bright future.
Good gracious! Your prospects for the future were excellent, weren't they, Mr. Trevor? Because even then, you were a genius in your field. But you lost everything. You had no more future. Your talents would go to waste. All of a result of this one newspaper article. I don't know when you realized who Mr. Assman was, but when it dawned on you that he was the same journalist who 10 years ago ruined your life, it's abundantly clear that you had no intention of forgiving the man.
The truth is...
Finally, he's going to fold.
Is he though?
Who said hold it? Oh,
Oh, hello.
Fine. Clearly this has run its course now. What?
I admit it. All of it.
what?
What are you doing?
It's exactly as the Japanese man said. I was coerced into going along with this man's plot to murder the victim, on the condition that he kept my dirty secret from 10 years ago. No.
Good Lord!
Dr. Scythe! Do you realise what you're saying, woman?
Okay, but can we have fireworks?
I know, right? I was hoping for them on the 5th. The 5th! Denied! It's all true. That day, when I arrived at the Crystal Tower and saw the birdcage, my heart nearly stopped beating. That memory from a decade ago that I'd done my best to bury deep inside myself. It was the professor again, staring me in the face. And then, before I had a chance to react, I noticed something else. There was a note tucked inside the model's jacket. Dr. Scythe, you will go along with my plan. From someone who knows the truth about what really happened that night 10 years ago. All the instructions were there in the note. Every detail was meticulously written out. I had no choice but to do what it said. I made the necessary alterations to the scene and fabricated the autopsy report as instructed. There was really no other choice. It had to be done to protect the judiciary. I can only apologize now.
Why on earth would you buckle now?
Well, there's no point trying to hide it anymore, is there? I would have done anything to stop it coming out, even collaborate in a murder. But the great lie about that execution 10 years ago has been exposed. Whatever happens, I'm finished.
You know how you've been worried about Greggy? Yeah. This feels like last minutes for Greggy, given he provided that report.
Yeah! Oh, yeah, that's a good
Oh, good point.
But didn't Sholmes ask him to?
Yeah, Sholmes did ask him to, but even so.
I know. That's like, oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he got in
He stole
Iris's
the
bad
hit
books
list.
too,
Yeah.
which is why we're gonna. Yeah, but he admitted to Scythe that he did it.
Yeah,
no,
it's
it's
true.
true.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, Sholmes does know everything. Like he pretends to be like a. I hope he's pretending to be a. I don't know. God knows with Sholmes.
No. So then, Mr. Drebber, what do you say to that? Your accomplice has admitted everything.
Yeah, no, you're right. Strongheart knows he did, and he is a Pokemon villain, so I'm pretty sure he's guilty of everything.
Surely it goes without saying.
You admit your part in it too, then?
I admit nothing at all.
What?
Have you forgotten that the kinesis machine was ripped to shreds by an explosion? Short of me admitting to a crime, there's really no possible way for you to prove I did anything wrong.
No!
You have a point there, Goose. If I was also an incredible genius of deduction, I would act like a complete fool for fun. Because where's the point? Being smart's not fun. Being a dumbass is fun.
No. Yeah. Order! Order!
Yeah, he admitted to blowing it up, but in front of us, not in front of anybody who can actually prove it,
Yeah.
I think. Oh no, wait, Gregsy was there.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't he like literally, yeah,
he was.
Gregson and Gina were like
Yeah.
right there. And he was all like, oh, you didn't think to look for a bomb in the kinesis machine, did you? I mean,
Whatever this man says, I admit everything. He threatened to expose my secret, so I went along with his plan. And Lord Francisque,
yes.
I hope you'll accept my apologies. What happens next is in your hands, of course.
I've heard more than enough now. I hereby present the final findings of this court. This trial is not the proper forum in which to pursue the alleged wrongdoings of Mr. Drebber. The defendant is Professor Albert Hairbrain.
There's a running joke in your craft group about genetically modifying moths to eat through each other's wool stash. That's evil!
Oh my god.
Evil!
I think that is actually
I think that's
crime,
that's
like-
a capital offence.
yeah, legit. Holy no.
Very true. It had slipped my mind.
Isn't he one of your closest friends? As the court has heard, Dr. Scythe has admitted to the allegations brought by the defense, thereby absolving the defendant of any possible guilt. He just wants to go to bed, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. It's
You
lunchtime.
mean?
But yeah.
Lunchtime, yes. At the present time, it is the conclusion of the court that the defendant was not involved in any wrongdoing. Does the prosecution have any objection? Is the jury not supposed to do anything?
Yeah, I'm really hoping that this isn't going to be a summation examination situation, but yeah. None, my lord. I was afraid too.
Oh, congratulations, Mr. Naruhodo.
This is going too well.
Mm-hmm.
You've proven Professor Harebrain's innocence.
The clarifications, that's you and a 16-year-old saying there's no other way either of you will ever finish your stashes and justify buying more. That's fair, but as someone whose stash has literally been eaten by moths in the past, I'm never going to finish it now either. because it's
dead.
been digested. It's dead, Dave. I reckon Strongheart's about to sell. I reckon also there's going to be a certain amount of something or other.
Yeah. And we still have
We still have two more cases left, and I think this is ramping up into, I don't know.
Without further ado, then, the adjudication.
I know how to say that word.
I know. Unless the prosecution or defense have any other matters to discuss.
I don't think he's yeeted his quota, actually, this trial.
No, he
Has
hasn't.
he? No.
No, he really hasn't.
No, he really hasn't.
I don't know. This doesn't feel quite right. Why did Dr. Sai suddenly admit to it like that?
Is everything alright, Mr. Naruhodo?
No. Like you said before, the way the trial is set to end now, the judge will certainly deliver a verdict of not guilty. But is that really what we want? What the defense should be pushing for now is... Dude, further testimony. This is not the case for it though. Isn't that like, we should be not like... It is done. Yeah, let it be done.
Yeah.
We've done our job. Client, not guilty.
We have a phrase in this country, Runosuke. It's called beating the dead donkey.
I'm gonna say...
Don't do it! I mean, don't beat donkeys. But also, definitely... Yeah, I don't know.
I know
but,
what
like,
the game wants me to do, and I say, no, we are done! If the judge gives this verdict now, Professor Harebrain will be found not guilty without any doubt.
Is something troubling you, perhaps?
Yes, but it's probably nothing. In the antechambers during the recess earlier, I did give Mr. Sholmes my word though, didn't I?
I've forgotten about that.
Yeah, I forgot too. I told him I'd pursue any doubt I had about the truth to the absolute last.
If you gave Mr. Sholmes your word, then it most certainly isn't nothing. And it means there's only one right answer here.
I don't like it, game. Yes, you're right. I don't know why I was ever wavering.
I do. I know exactly why I was wavering.
Objection.
Objection. The defense objects to the trial ending at this time, my lord. I beg your pardon. We demand one final testimony.
Chat demands you save.
What? I will save after this. You do realize I'm about to this is why the judge wants to end it. He can't say words anymore. He wants he's tired.
His dentures have shifted
Yeah.
and he's having a really hard time right now.
In favor of your client, I presume?
What are you playing at now, my Nipponese friend? Why would you want to obstruct the conclusion of the trial at this point? No defense lawyer in his right mind would do that.
Mr.
Mr. Naruhodo, what exactly are you thinking?
But first she's
I mean,
like, oh.
I also want to know the truth, so I kind of agree.
yeah, I agree.
But also, this is such a stupid thing to do.
The truth, the whole truth, and a way to bring it all out in the open.
Right.
I want to open the mask.
Yeah.
Yes, in hindsight.
Let's get the testimony from the waxwork. Hello, Bufflebean. What you doing down there? What you doing down there? Is there a plastic bag on the floor that you're wagging against?
Sorry for crinkling dog wagging ASMR.
Yeah, that's like, yeah. Audible dog tail wag. I hope that was audible. Hey, you wanna come up here? You wanna come cuddle me? Nope, she wants to cuddle Socket. Wow. I feel so unloved right now. Looks over her shoulder.
Lost his one instead.
Thank you very much.
Come here, Teary.
Wow. Wow.
I was actually holding a plushie, but you know.
Yeah, well now I can hold the plushie and you can have the dog.
I don't want the dog.
Yeah, well the dog wants you. So she's made her choice. Ah yes, one word of warning before I go.
Oh,
Yeah,
Teary, you're being rude.
Oh my god.
Oh
Yeah,
my god,
she's-
Teary!
She's there and she's being awful. Does she want in your hoodie?
She does want to.
Okay. Well, give her pats before.
I've given her pets,
Okay,
don't worry.
she's okay. If in the course of the trial this afternoon you perceive even a shadow of doubt about the truth, don't let it out of your sight. Pursue it like a dog with a bone.
That's also what Teary was reminding us of.
Bring. To the bitter end, you understand? Do not falter, whatever may come to pass. Oh.
I'm sure Mr. Sholmes knew. He must have deduced that this would happen. Yes, I'm here in court to advocate for my client and to secure an acquittal.
Obviously.
But that's not all. I believe that I have a duty to the court to pursue the whole truth of the case until every last detail is laid bare. And that is why the defense calls for further testimony from Dr. Scythe.
Testimony from me? About what?
About the nature of your collaboration with Mr. Enoch Drebber.
Ha! In case it's escaped your attention, I've already admitted to everything I did. The whole truth has already been revealed. So stop wasting everyone's time.
Yeah.
As his lordship made very plain, your client will get the acquittal you wanted for him. There's simply no point protracting this business further with another tedious cross-examination.
Objection!
Oh
Objection.
boy.
Oh! Oh! Oh!
Yeesh!
Oh!
Woohoo!
Alright. This is, he was saving them up. He was saving them up.
Pray forgive my careless handling of that hallowed bottle. I slipped.
That's what you call it? What was your objection, Lord Van Zieks?
The prosecution also calls for supplementary testimony from the witness. Don't be stupid.
Oh.
If there is more to this case than has yet come to light, then I will join my learned friend in pursuing the facts until the bitter end. You'll what?
Lord Van Zieks?
You never thought you'd ever get to love this man so much. I know, right?
Mm-hmm. At first it was just me sitting here going,
Yeah.
I like him.
And I was like, oh no.
I was like, this is my Blorbo coded.
No, this is Blobber right here.
It's a good Blorbo, not everybody can share the same Blorbo. This is most irregular to say the least. However, As the prosecution also calls for it, I will uphold the request. Dr. Scythe, you will testify before the court.
Sometimes he can still be a clown. But still, can't we all?
Explaining the full extent of your involvement in the murder apparently committed by Mr. Drebber.
Oh, very well. Blobber van Six.
That's my mother's name. Don't wear it out.
Waxwork plot.
It all began at the scene when I saw the waxwork and the note tucked inside its jacket. The actual body of the victim, as indicated in the note's instructions, was beneath the experimentation stage. The body had to be arranged in certain ways to implicate the defendant, which was my job. I enlisted the help of the entire forensic investigation team to dress the scene appropriately, and somehow they all kept stum!
Yeah.
Fudge. The truth about the execution 10 years ago is a state secret of the highest level. I had to protect it.
So there's both Greggy and her now. We have been like, stage secrets!
Yeah.
So I was right. The stage and the machine were all especially designed for the deception.
No joke. So it seems, and all meticulously prepared. You did well to see through it.
No, it was pretty obvious, actually.
Yeah.
You're a very shrewd boy. Why don't you come over here afterwards and I'll step on you.
So kind of you to say.
You're welcome.
And what about this autopsy report then?
All I did was record the location of the body as being in the Crystal Tower instead of under the stage. And let my kid cut you up. Yes. Well, why else would I be stepping on you, you naughty boy? It's just to hold you still.
That's all. That's a terrible corruption.
Only my team were aware of the deceit, and then only under my explicit instructions. Nobody else at Scotland Yard knew anything about it, I assure you.
We must be thankful for small mercies, I suppose. Well, I believe that testimony has clarified everything. There's no particular need for cross-examination, I would say.
Don't spoil butt on me. No! Don't show me! Don't show me.
You don't want me to show you?
Don't let everybody spoil me! I'm just hiding secretly. Ha!
Quickly, get out the spray bottle. Quickly! Quickly!
Don't spray me! I am just tiny kobold! Sitting behind a screen, doing the voices! Leave me alone!
No, I disagree. I can't shake the feeling that some things is wrong. Just look at the expression on Dr. Scythe's face.
It's extremely wrong.
If the defense is right to cross-examine any witness... Sorry. It's the defense's right to cross-examine any witness following testimony.
What is it about you Japanese that makes you all so doggedly persistent?
What? All?
Yeah.
Who's she dealt with in the past?
I wonder. Very well. If you so desire, counsel, proceed with the cross-examination.
And why is it presumably related to Van Zieks being all like, I was betrayed by somebody in the past and now I hate everybody from your country?
Yes, my lord.
That is rather telling on her, isn't it?
Okay, guys. I don't like doing this much either. But it's getting late for us. And we have bedtimes to stick to.
That is true.
Doctor's trying hard to improve her sleeping.
I'm fine. Yeah, it's true.
I think... I mean, I have a horrible feeling that even after we finish this, there's going to be a lot of post content.
Yeah,
With shows and stuff. So
suspect.
that's the thing.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, I don't know. I feel there's a lot more behind this than just a quick cross-examination. I think it'd be a good one to start with next.
Don't want to go to bed? Well, this is Auntie Pocket telling you that
Yeah.
a good bedtime is good for your health,
It is.
mental and physical.
Sorry!
Sleep is for the weak, and you're very EP. Yeah, I'm quite weak also. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think you're right. I think it's 2 hours. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's 2 hours of this cake or cake. Case!
Also,
Oh, 2 hours of
Pocket
cake.
wants her cake.
I have cake, thank you very much. I have so much cake. Yeah, good thing it's Tuesday, exactly.
Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah,
Allegedly.
theoretically. I do want cake.
I really want cake. Oh well!
Ah.
So, yeah, we'll be back hopefully on time.
We should be back tomorrow.
Unless there's new weird laws that suddenly need to investigate.
Oh. We'll work. Yeah.
Oh.
And then we'll do this, and maybe we'll get to the end of it, and then
Yeah,
maybe
maybe
we'll
we can
start
start
the
the
next
next game.
one.
But again, like promised, we will continue playing this game.
Yeah. See,
until
I
we're
say
done.
unless. Oh yeah, do save.
Oh, yeah,
Actually,
thank
save
you.
so
Thank you
everyone
for
can see
reminding.
that you've saved. Yeah, the thing is, I have to unless, because otherwise,
We are cursed.
yeah, I am cursed. If I say like I will definitely be doing this thing, then something will come up,
Yeah.
and I will no longer be doing this thing.
No.
Just like I promised everybody in 2019 that we'd definitely be coming back to all the conventions in 2020.
Yeah.
I don't remember how that went, but for some reason we didn't. We
No.
didn't do any of that, and I don't know why. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah. So I try not to promise things, because unless it all goes well and is well. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we can complete this case and the next one before the year ends. I don't know.
I think these cases are so fucking long.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
How many
yeah.
weeks has this been?
well, we start. Oh, this one. Yeah, I think it has actually at this point been 4 weeks. I don't remember. All I know is that it took me a long time to try and get back to the bit where we went to see the waxwork.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if we're going to finish. Because, yeah, we've also got 2 cases after this. So it's not just the next one, it's the one after that. But yeah, I am sad that this is the last game with these characters.
Yeah, same.
Because I want more of these guys. Shomes is hilarious. Funseeks is brilliant. Everything is brilliant. Everything's fun. Fuff offers beans. Thank you for the beans, Fuff!
Many
Excellent
thanks.
beans.
Theory has nothing to offer in return. She's just curled up asleep.
She doesn't even have the decency to audibly snore.
She's an ungrateful hound.
She is.
She will wake me up in the middle of the night snoring, but doesn't
Yeah.
perform snoring all cute like no.
Yeah.
Beans!
Yeah, I'm not ready to let go of Funseeks either.
No. Like, Edgeworth is fine.
Edgeworth
But
is...
he ain't Funseeks.
No.
But in return, we do get Gumshoe.
That's true, we
I
do
love
get
Gumshoe.
Gumshoe. Yeah.
Because, yeah, I am very much eyeing
The one
the
that just
Edgeworth
came out.
games because
Yeah.
I've only played the first one. And now, this is the thing though, one of my they call them oomfies these days, don't they? The youths.
Yes, they
I
do.
was like saying that they were like really excited to play the second game and then they didn't like any of the characters in the second
Oh,
game.
no.
I was like, oh, I'm so worried now.
Yeah. Well, we can make it fun.
We can make it fun, yeah.
Yeah.
But we might take a bit of a break between that and do some other
Do
things.
something else and then come back. There's a big sale on cozy games on Steam right now. Oh no,
Like,
that's
I'm
dangerous.
broke. I'm
Yeah.
broke.
That's-
This is why I'm broke.
Yeah, that one right there. Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
also why I'm banned from buying any games right now because
Yeah.
I will be 100%ing this thing probably.
Yeah. And I'll be waiting patiently until it's my turn. Which is why in the meantime I'm playing Rune Factory 4 because I'm really upset that I don't get to play oh my god, Fantasy Life
Yeah.
yet.
I mean,
So
I'm not going to say no. If you want to gift us games, I would love that. So,
when did games become plural?
I said, didn't mean to say games. I meant to say game, but it was just a general thing. I'm not going to be like, oh my god, don't. But also don't spend money on us.
No, quite.
That's like basically our rule. See, this is
No.
good.
No. But if there is anything that you
Yeah.
think that we also might enjoy playing on stream,
Yeah, we will.
then we would gratefully accept it
Mm-hmm.
if you desperately want to.
And as always look after yourself first.
Yes,
and
yourself
foremost.
first.
The sentiment is plenty.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Always, always, always yourself more important than us.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. We will have tons of stream content and we'll work very, very hard to entertain everybody.
Yeah.
Twice a week.
And we also might be starting to do some more random streams.
We
in
might.
between.
Yeah, we have actually been talking about maybe doing some during the day.
Yeah. Like,
But,
just random ones, but Ace Attorney and stuff will just be properly scheduled.
This
like,
stuff would be properly scheduled, but other random stuff in the middle, in the meantime.
Yeah.
But it kind of depends.
Yeah.
Because, this is when we're still just doing this mostly for fun.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So, trying to 100% Waffle Talks on stream, right? Woo! Yeah,
Do
it's
not.
true. Amber Isle would be a great start.
I will admit it would be a really great start, and it's I also really want to play it.
I still need to make a plush of
Off.
Oh, what was her name? Was it Lava?
Lava!
Was it Lava?
Lava, I beloved!
That
Oh.
was our beloved,
Hold on,
right?
hold on, I'm just gonna go to the front of the cafe for a second, see.
Did
I
we-
think I may have removed lava.
I think you did. Oh, no, it's
No.
right there. It's there. There.
Lava!
Lava.
Iron lava,
Classic
beloved.
Iron Lava. But Iron Lava didn't have wings. Which one?
No, Lava
which
was
one
literally
was the
just-
one that had wings? There was one that just kept flapping around. I don't remember. Anyway.
Yeah, no, but I lava was our one true love, because they didn't even have wings, but they were the happiest wobble dog we ever had.
Yeah, Iron Lava was great. One day we'll get a sublimation printer so I can print its cute little pattern.
Yeah. I just had to go back here for a second.
Adorable.
In storage.
Yeah, it's storage forever.
Cryo.
Multiplayer Amber Isle would be amazing, actually. Yeah.
That would be really neat.
But yeah, so I mean that is the plan. Once we finish this one, this Ace Attorney game, we will take a small break, and then we are heavily eyeing the Miles Edgeworth game.
Yes. Yeah. Because
Because clearly we're an Ace Attorney channel now. I'm not even mad.
it's like Twitch is like, are you sure you want to stream this? These games do really poorly on stream. I'm like, we don't care.
We don't care.
We're going to play this with chat.
Yeah.
It's way more fun that way.
Dost thou thinkest we mind?
If we're gonna click through like 500, am I really supposed to do it this ways? Let it be a joint experience.
Yeah, well, that's kind of one of the reasons that we actually started streaming in the first place. It's why we don't have the very, very, very first case on there. You were partway through the second case of the first game, and we were sitting, it was in bed, wasn't it? We were sitting in bed, and you were playing it, and I was like, oh, actually, that looks really, really fun.
Yeah.
And then
I started reading out the case.
You started reading out the case, and then we were like, actually, why don't we just do this on stream, because then we can play it together.
Yeah. Yeah, we got to talk about window tax.
And we got to talk about window tax, which was brilliant. How often do you get to do that?
Also, guys, do it.
Do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Kunado, I will send you those details.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I would just use it on stream, but I'm scared of people getting those details.
Yes.
I'm not risking it.
Very much.
Yeah,
we also I got to complain about balloons.
Balloons.
The wear cleaner?
Wait, what? The work? That sounds fun. I don't hear
It
about
pains you more people don't talk about it. Yeah, I know.
Okay, that's it. Stream over.
Like it was just such a dreadful like concept. Don't you think? I mean, there were so many cracks in it. On the plus side, it's usually quite clear whether people had a lot of windows or not, so you couldn't actually frame anybody.
Maybe it's about time I press that mute button again.
She's showing me the door. Just to play the issue. It's always good to reflect on the past. Yeah.
Yeah, I cannot do this. You and me both, bud. You and me both. Right.
Glassy ass.
Now I'm actually gonna take you to
See, I'm
to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm putting my bad kobold corner.
Yeah. Do you want Pokemon Sleep to start calling you out again about the fact you don't get enough hours of sleep?
Yeah. We started playing Pokemon Sleep recently, and Socket's just like, fine, sleep all the time, and Pokemon Sleep was like, to me, no.
You got higher scores than me, even though I get better.
Yeah, but it's like, you didn't sleep long enough. Yeah, and?
Oh. Yes. Alright. Go
Yes.
to the outro.
Okay.
We need to walk the hound.
We do need to walk the dog, and I have it on good authority. My mum's sending me pictures of her frosty conservatory roof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can use your phone or a
Yeah.
smartwatch. But
Yeah, you can use your phone, but we hadn't used the phone
Yeah.
because
It will fry my phone.
yeah, I don't want to do that to my phone. It's got screen burn already, but we got really, really cheap smartwatches, and lo, they worked. You check it out, and it just says, your Pikachu is concerned for your well-being. Honestly, it might as well. But yeah, you can just play it on your phone, just purely and simply. But I think you need to like set your phone. It records your.
You have to like the always on, like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's
weird.
Yeah, we only just started playing it for a reason. But yeah, right. Thanks for coming to our stream. Don't forget, you keep the cart in your heart. It's full of waxworks and horror. So keep it close, so you know where it is at all times, so it can't sneak up on you. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Always follow the kobold motto. What's the motto?
Laugh.
She missed it.
Loot.
No.
No, I'm not going to say a miserable pile of secrets because it ain't. That's all I hear.
You know what I was expecting was nothing. What's the motto with you? But that's fine. A miserable pile of secrets will do. You know what? Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Every single time I have to explain to you
She's seen
that
it in
I'm
Dutch. I know. I'm aware. We've seen it sometimes in English now too.
Yeah, well.
But yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'm over it. It's fine. It's okay. Anyway, yes, kobold motto. Askinado said, leaf, laugh, loot, objection. Keep the cart in your objection. Well, I mean, I don't think it fits. Thank you very much. I'm a lady. Until next time.
Good night.
I hope you'll feel well. I hope you'll be well.